Audubon 2456.
State of the Save is back with part 1 of Metal Gear Solid 2 in our ongoing Metal Gear series. It's going to be another great episode. Thank you for joining us. Let's go around the horn. We got the whole crew today. Of course, I am Eric. With me also, Michael. How you doing, Michael?
Doing great.
Nick, how are you doing, Nick?
Doing great.
We're just going to like breeze past the fact that you're back. We're just going to act like you're always here.
That's right.
All right.
Never left. Just came
Nick,
back. He was lost because he left during the Control episode, so he was kind of lost in the astral plane there. But now he's back. Nick, how was the astral plane?
White.
Okay. I like the fact that Nick just like sits in on all the other episodes and just doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, it's like people are like, man, that's kind of weird that they make their friend just like sit there and listen to them record podcast. No, it's great to have everybody back. Metal Gear is our flagship game franchise that we've been doing one of each season, and it's exciting to get on to the next installment. Just some stuff up front. We had some nice reviews, had some new listeners join the show in the past few weeks. We appreciate it. If you're a new listener, thank you very much. You can make sure to hit those reviews, send in your emails, all that fun stuff. All the engagement stuff helps us get the show out to more people, and the more people who listen to the show, the more cool stuff we get to do. So before, we'll do all the begging up front. It's like the YouTube videos that's like, hey, this tutorial on how to install this faucet. But before that, let me tell you to like and subscribe. I've been watching a lot of home improvement YouTube, and that's like, I'll instantly click off your video if you're trying to be able to subscribe before you teach me how to put the faucet on.
A minute and 30 seconds is like the holy grail of timestamps. Yes. Like, I'm going right for you.
I just like, that's the only time I ever leave like button. Like I hit the like button. If you just like start your video off with, as you can see right here, I've shut the water off, and now we're moving to removing these two bolts instantly. Like, you're my best friend. Yeah. If you start your video off with, so it's a hot day today, so I've been, making sure to wear a t-shirt. It's like, fuck you, man. Nobody gives a shit about your t-shirt.
Here's a 45-second intro with royalty-free music.
Yeah.
Showing me doing things around the house.
My favorite, there is one guy who teaches, like, car repair. And he gets like really nuanced into certain model vehicles. So I've watched a couple of his videos. But he'd start off with like a 2-minute montage of him like opening up hoods and looking at the camera and being like high fives and doing stuff like that. And I watch all of his. Like if I watch the whole montage, I will be broken down on the side of the road and still watch the montage before I end that video. I think it's ironic also that we complain about this on a podcast about video games, and then we spend 3 minutes and 18 seconds at the beginning of the podcast talking about YouTube videos on home repair. We are hypocrites. Let's jump right into it. Video games, what have you been playing? Have you been playing the video games? Let's go around, Nick, let's start with you. Have you been playing the video games? Do you just have things you want to plug? What have you been up to since you last spoke to the listeners?
Not a lot. I haven't been playing games. I got really into making bagels.
Okay,
we can fill some time there.
Yeah, let's pause for a second. Listen. I allot about 30 minutes of the show to whatever the fuck we want to do before we get to. We have timestamps now, so like people can just be like, "Fuck y'all, 30 minutes," and they just jump to the game. So let's talk about these bagels for a second. When you say you're getting into making bagels, are you doing like custom bagels?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not getting too crazy with it because that's just a lot of ingredients you have to buy. So I'm just doing plain, everything bagels.
Okay.
And cinnamon bagels.
Okay, let's pause for a second.
There's got to be a cinnamon in there.
Yeah.
But an everything bagel should be the most things you have to buy, correct?
No.
Not if you buy everything bagel seasoning.
Oh, okay, never
Which
mind.
is just all of it in one thing.
When you say making bagels, are you toasting the bagels?
No, I'm like making them from scratch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is a level of commitment.
I like bagels.
Yeah, I'm glad you do.
It's such a versatile pastry. Not really pastry, but
It can be like a sandwich. You can make it a sandwich. You
can be
make it a
dessert.
breakfast item.
It can be
breakfast.
breakfast.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff, bro.
Professional. I did not know you got into making bagels.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of disappointed because this would have been a perfect opportunity for you to have brought us some bagels.
Well, my last batch got stale because we didn't eat them fast enough.
Oh, okay.
No.
Is that a testimony of how good the bagels are, though?
It's a testimony to like how frequently I'm now making bagels to the point where I'm kind of like burnt out on it.
Everybody in your home is like, boy, it would be
He's like,
really
yeah, we
nice.
get it, man. That's really cool. It's really cool that you made bagels.
Every morning we wake up and Nick's like jamming bagels down our throat, be like, check out this new cinnamon bagel I made. It's got caramel butter. And like, man, I just want some fucking cereal, man. Leave me alone. No, that's cool, man. Like, I always appreciate like random hobbies that people like get into. And it's always little stuff like that it's just something. I think it just hits something in your brain where you're like, I guess I like making bagels.
Yeah.
Who would have known?
Yeah.
Well, any other hobbies you've been taking up?
We don't have. This is like a whole other rabbit hole that we don't have to like dive into. But we'd spent like the last 3 weeks watching all the Fast and Furious movies.
Okay, so you're extremely excited about the.
I'm not extremely excited because there's not going to be any Dwayne The Rock Johnson in this one.
Yeah, and also apparently they lost their director.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, so there was a weird kidnapping video looking thing that. Have you ever seen like Van Diesel's Twitter and his social media?
No, but Vin Diesel was the reason that Dwayne The Rock Johnson is not going to be in the new movie.
Because he like did a public shaming.
Yeah,
where
which backfired.
Yes, he sent like a video or something being like, "Listen, my brother Dwayne."
It was a photoshopped image of them giving each other the like.
But he made himself bigger than The Rock. So okay, let's talk about this. Van Diesel is not as big as The Rock.
No,
I think The Rock is like around 6'5" or something.
And like literally,
huge.
he has all of Vin Diesel's muscle mass on his body plus more.
Yes,
like he's ripped as fuck.
He is a humongous man.
Yes,
and in this obvious Photoshop, he made sure to make Dwayne The Rock Johnson shorter than him and not as wide. And I think Van Diesel was like under 6 feet tall. So the fact that he not only did he try to publicly shame The Rock, but he also photoshopped himself in the photo that he attached to the publicly shamed, where he's like, my kids constantly ask me, like, what kind of kids are you, like, walking up and be like, Dad,
where's
did The
Uncle
Rock
Dwayne
sign
The Rock?
on to the next Fast and the Furious movie, Dad? But yeah, he did that, and then the director had like quit, but like a couple of days before he quit, they did like the first day on like of shooting.
Yeah.
And he did like an Instagram live video where it seems like a kidnapping video because he's doing like in selfie mode. And this man does not look excited to be doing this. He's like, so we just wrapped on day 1, right? Yeah, Van, we did. It's gonna be the best movie of the franchise. What do you think, man? You think it's gonna be the best? I'm feeling it. I think his exact quote is, "In my heart, I think it's going to be the best movie," which is the weirdest way to pimp a film. And like Vin's like obviously like trying to get him to get pumped about this movie on this Instagram live video, whatever it is. And then like a week later, the director steps away due to creative differences. And you know that like Vin heard about it. He's like, "No, man, you ain't not on my watch. I'm not losing 2. We're not losing 2 to the franchise."
Are you a Fast and Furious
The
guy?
multiverse is hot right now. We need multiverses in this thing. We've already been to
It's
space.
supposed to be the last one, so.
I'm not a Fast and Furious guy because I watched them before they became glorified superhero movies. So I think the only one I watched was like Tokyo Drift.
That's the worst one.
Yeah,
so that's
okay.
like hands down, ask anybody, that's the worst one.
So like people were really into them when they were car movies.
Yeah.
And I'm not like it's long documented. We've talked about it when it comes to video games. I don't care about racing at all.
Yeah.
In real life, in video games or anything, I don't care about racing. And so like car movies don't appeal to me. But then when they became just glorified superhero movies, I felt too far away. Like I feel like to fully understand and care about these movies, I should suffer through the car movies.
You should.
And then watch the
because
superhero
it makes
movies.
it so much better. Because it's like it's 20 years of like melodrama, like truncated into 2 weeks watching of movies. It's like you watch like this dude who used to be the guy who ran street races turn into like the world's best hacker. And it's like, or like they'll drive like sports cars and stuff out of the tops of like skyscrapers and stuff, and
I've seen,
go
like,
floor to floor. It's just like the dumbest stuff ever.
I've seen the trailers and stuff because they're in front of like every movie. Like the year it comes out, it's just like 6 months of trailers for the Fast and Furious. And the Rock one, when he flexes and busts the the cast made me so pumped. Like I was in the theater when I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, "Oh shit, got to see this now!" But then I was like, I also don't really give a damn about Vin Diesel like at all. He's an actor that honestly, generally puts me off of everything he does.
He's not the main character of those movies. It's definitely Paul Walker.
Yeah,
then also, if you're not gonna watch it, they don't kill Paul Walker in the movies.
They drive off into the sunset and he like, disappears.
But then 3 more movies happen after that, and it's just like he's just he's hanging out with his kid. It's like, bro, come on, don't lie to me. Stop lying to me.
I think that it's kind of a weird, sensitive situation. Like if you like kill him off screen, it could come across a little bit like exploitive.
Well, they already did like half of those scenes in the last movie that he was in was his brother.
Oh, really?
And they like CG'd his face onto his brother.
Oh, that's weird.
But he looks almost exactly like him. But it's really weird. So I feel like if you're like, hey man, just be your dead brother for a little bit, that's more exploitive than just being like, and then he, saved the day and died or something.
Yeah, I guess.
For the family.
For the family. This is going to be the new sign off for State of the Save. It's just going to be family. No, I like I said, I would probably enjoy it if I sat down and I watched all of them. It's just now, it's like, it's getting like that even with the Marvel movies. Like, I am behind on the Marvel movies for the first time in my life. And, like, some of it's because a couple of them came out that I just didn't care about.
Yeah.
But, like, as a guy who was, like, day one for those, I've fallen so far behind that, like, I'm at the point that I'm starting to think I'm just going to start skipping to the ones I care about now. Like, I did not watch Shang-Chi. I didn't watch Shang-Chi either. Like, not from lack of really...
That's all right.
Yeah, it's not from lack of interest. It was just, like, it came out at a time where there was other stuff going on that I cared more about. Eternals, I did not give a damn about from the get-go.
I am the one defender of that movie.
Fucking
I'm like,
terrible.
It's got interesting ideas. I watched it at home in like 2 sittings and went, this
you
is
probably
not...
did it the right way because we powered through the whole thing.
I was like, this is all right. It has some like cool ideas. It's not like a great movie by any means, but I'm liking what it's trying to do. The conflict is interesting. I don't know. It's all right.
I like that more than I like Black Widow.
I watched
agree with
Black
that, yeah.
Widow, and Black Widow, like, both me and my wife sat there, and when we were done, we felt like it was just like it was the definition of a 2-hour superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, nothing special
And they ruined
happened.
Taskmaster.
Yeah, that pissed me off, too.
That made me irrationally angry.
Yeah, the Taskmaster stuff. Those are the characters I care more about. Like, I don't care really what you do to, like now that, Chris Evans done with Captain America, cool, make Sam Wilson Captain America. I don't care. It happened in the comics, whatever. Play around with all these things. Have a new Iron Man. I don't give a damn. But, like, the niche characters that make me irrationally angry are the ones that I care about. Like, I give a damn about Taskmaster.
Yeah,
like, if they messed up Moon Knight, we'd be really
mad.
mad.
We fucking riot.
See, if they had done that, that's, like, literally on par with how mad I was about Taskmaster. Because, like, I like all the mercenary dudes in the comics were, like, the dudes that I liked. Like, I like Deadpool. I like Taskmaster. I like Moon Knight. Like, your niche, mid-tier people that somehow fit into the greater picture.
Because people are less likely to fuck with him in the comics.
Yeah.
Like, Taskmaster is Taskmaster because he's not, like, being pushed as a main eventer. So he's not, like, constantly has somebody being like, I'm going to put my own twist on this. Like, people generally, when they want to write Taskmaster, are trying to write that version of the character because he's to care enough about him, you have to care enough about that character in itself. Same thing with, like, Moon Knight. Moon Knight usually is kind of protected in the comics because if you want to put Moon Knight in your book, you generally have to care enough about Moon Knight not to want to fuck with him too much.
And then, like, even so, every run of him has, like, his own spin on him, to where it's different run to run with Moon Knight, but overall it's like, hey, he's cool.
Inconsistency of, like, personality and stuff is kind of his deal. So to fuck around and do weird stuff with him is okay because it's consistent with who he is. So, like, the show worried me at first because I cared so much about that character that I was nervous that they were going to make mistakes or do some weird shit. But then when I finally watched the first couple of episodes, I was like, nah, it's different, but it's still solid, it's still good. So therefore it was the opposite of the Halo show. The Halo show was completely different, but but not better. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't interesting what they changed. It was just different and worse. The Moon Knight stuff was different, but it was still good, so it was easy to forgive. The last thing I will say about the Marvel stuff is I am at that point where I want to start skipping around, but my wife is not. So we have not watched the new Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
So
Oh, no.
I care very deeply about watching that one, but she will not watch it
until she watches like
until we
Shang-Chi.
suffer. Yeah, she's like, no, Eternals and Shang-Chi come next. We got to watch those. And I'm
terrible.
trying to break her from that. So like, she won't watch Moon Knight with me because we haven't watched Hawkeye. I want to watch Hawkeye, but she's like very much an in order, consume it all kind of person.
Yeah.
So like, it's a push and pull, man. So like, the new Doctor Strange is coming out. I kind of want to watch that, but damn it, I'm not gonna suffer through Eternals.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's reached the point that it's even broken me.
You probably don't have to suffer through Eternals.
No, that's
Yeah,
the thing
you
I keep
Yeah,
telling.
does it? Especially since like that movie didn't do well critically, I have a feeling behind the scenes they're going to be tinkering stuff like we're going to make these guys a little less important.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's almost like the Eternals are a bad concept from the get go, and they were shitty in the comics, and you shouldn't have made a movie about
I
them.
believe the favorite thing you told me about them is that it proves that even he can make mistakes. The creator.
Yeah, even Jack Kirby cannot come up with a like Jack Kirby creates the most iconic superheroes in the world. You know, he makes most of the great Marvel characters, barring Spider-Man. He goes to DC and comes up with the new gods with Darkseid and Mr. Miracle and all that stuff. But even Jack Kirby wasn't 100% because he created the Eternals, and boy, do I not give a damn about the Eternals.
Which is crazy because like the whole thing about the Eternals is like you would think that that's their way to usher in cooler, more like cosmic horror type enemies and stuff. But it's just like I watched the Eternals, and then I watched the Eternals and went on Wikipedia and read about the Eternals, and I like have forgotten about like who's the god type things, who are the Celestials, who are the Eternals.
So Kirby, I know this is a video game podcast, but we have stayed on topic. Kirby creates the new gods in DC, and he does what the Eternals. I am confused. I don't have the dates in front of me. I don't remember which one came first. I think the new gods comes first. The new gods is that concept of like cosmic, big, high concept sci-fi done well, because it's like the third one. So it's like what happened to the other two, and characters like Mr. Miracle and Orion and Darkseid, these amazingly like epic, cosmic, over the top characters. And when he does the Eternals, he has similar ideas, like with the Deviants and stuff like that. There is cool ideas, but none of those characters really hit. And also, and this is coming from like a Kirby fanboy, even though the art is very good, like none of the characters are iconic like he usually makes. Like even characters like Omak, like, you know, it's iconic the way he looks, and when you see a Jack Kirby image of it, it looks like something you want to learn about. The Eternals none of them look like that. They don't even have like a good visual style. The art is Kirby in a very like late stage Kirby, and it's not bad, but it just doesn't hit.
Yeah.
So like the concept that to me it was the hubris of, we've made Guardians of the Galaxy fucking work. We made you give a shit about Scarlet Witch and Vision. We are unfucking stoppable. We can make you give a shit about the Eternals. And I'm like, no one gives a shit about the Eternals, bro.
Could be. That being said, I did watch the Morbius movie.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it even?
No. They got the dude from Doctor Who. They got the new Doctor Who guy.
Yeah, Matt Smith.
Yep. And then like,
Waste him apparently.
yeah, I mean, he's the main antagonist in the thing, but it's like literally the Iron Man and Ant-Man thing of like, this is another vampire, just like the vampire that's the main star of the movie.
Okay, I'm getting on my pedestal here. Matt Smith deserves better.
Well, so the whole thing is, dude, like, look it up right now on Google, and he's like, I'm playing this guy. And in the movie, it's like a different dude. Like, the name is different.
Wow.
What?
Like, he's like, yeah, I thought I was playing this dude.
Oh no.
But they're calling me this in the movie. I don't know. It's bad.
Matt
It's not
Smith
good.
has had like an interesting career post being in the Doctor. I think he's the last like humongous Doctor. Like he was like Doctor Who hit like a wave of massive fandom.
Around the time of the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, And what is it? Eckerson, then
Tenet.
And Tenet's like everybody's favorite. He's my favorite. And then Matt Smith comes along, and he's really, really good. And then when he left, like, the show started to kind of lose momentum, and I fell off the show. And, like, then he goes, and you'd think that, like, this is, like, prime time for this man to have, like, a massive career push.
Yeah.
And then he does a ton. He did a zombie movie that wasn't very good that I remember watching, where he was, like, a doctor in a bunker. He did, like, just a ton of really crappy projects. He did the opposite of, like, a guy like David Tennant, who did, like, a bunch of, like, Broadway and, like, plays in London, and then did Jessica Jones show and, like, some more genre stuff. Like, he kind of made
He found his niche.
He found a niche, but also could go do, like, the serious acting. Like, he did a police procedural show for the BBC. Like, he did a bunch of stuff that was pretty big.
Yeah.
Smith just, like, felt like, I don't know what he did. Like, someone needs to fire that man's agent. Let's jump to Michael.
Yeah.
Michael, you want to talk about other shit, or you want to talk about video games?
Let's talk about video games.
Okay, we can talk about the video games if you want. Jeez.
I took advantage of a sale of a game I've been eyeing for a really long time because the DLC is coming out. I got back into Monster Hunter.
Oh, no.
With Monster Hunter Rise. My time will be brief, I promise.
I know the Monster Hunter doesn't get the Persona treatment. Persona gets the 5-minute treatment. I'll give you a little leeway with Monster Hunter.
All right. So this one's really cool because this one is made exclusively for the Switch and PC. It's not on any other consoles, but it was built from the ground up with the portability of the Switch in mind. So also, I want to mention this runs on Capcom's RE engine, which is an engine that's developed by Blackmagic Wizards, because the fact that this looks as good as it does on the Switch, the fact that load times are kept pretty short, and the fact that I can have 3 giant monsters fight each other on screen with 4 players running around trying to mount the monsters and have them crash into each other without a single frame rate drop is, on the Switch, is some black magic stuff. I don't know how they pulled it off.
That engine, I've never seen that engine look bad.
Oh, no.
Like, from the Resident Evil remakes to Resident Evil 7 and 8 and Village, like, it's such a showcase engine, and the fact that now, like, Capcom's using it for Monster Hunter and stuff like that, it is some impressive tech. Like, it feels like how you felt when you saw, like, Unreal really come into, like, its own, where it's like, this is some crazy ass shit.
Yeah, the fact that it has, like, that engine is so well optimized, more than, like, most other engines I've seen from an in-house studio, is, like, unfathomable in a lot of ways. And also what's unfathomable about it, you think RE engine stands for, Resident Evil engine. I found out today, no, it does not stand for Resident Evil engine. It stands for Reach for the Moon engine.
That makes sense.
So you're like, the E stands for engine, so it's Reach for the Moon engine? Yes.
Wait.
Yeah.
Reach for the Moon. Wouldn't it be at least RME engine?
No, RE engine. But because the logo is the, like, hand reaching for the moon. Don't.
I broke.
Yeah,
I broke.
it broke me too.
404 error. Page not found.
So, going back and forth on whether I like Rise more or less than World is occupying an interesting space in my mind, because it's all killer and no filler from World, and the fact that this is developed with, like, portability in mind, but also keeping a lot of the improvements that made World a lot of it accessible to, like, a larger audience and stuff, like trimming down a lot of the quality of life stuff to make it more streamlined and easier. There's a reason World is now Capcom's best-selling game of all time.
Yeah.
But so
did very well overseas too.
Very
it was, like,
well.
a massive hit overseas.
Absolutely. And so they took that, they honed it in and made it, like, a more tighter experience. Like, I don't have to go and, like, look for tracks for the monster anymore to, like, get a feel for where it is to, like, hunt it down. This feels like calling it Monster Hunter is a bit of a misnomer now, because it's more like Monster Fighter. You get in, you know exactly where the monster is, or in one of 3 locations it is, because it's like you haven't found the monster before, so it's a big question mark walking around the map. and then you go to it, and then you see it, and you go, that's the monster, and then you fight it. So you're within a monster fight within like 3 minutes of loading into the map.
So it's almost like a boss rush?
Yes.
Like a boss rush. That sounds like that would be appealing because so much of that franchise is based around like finding the right weapon that you want to like become like proficient at. And I feel like you're skipping some of the more tediousness of it. I do agree that it feels like it kind of takes away the other aspects of that game, like actually hunting the thing down.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm okay with that for a game that could be more of a portable experience because the Switch for me is still kind of the thing I pull out at the end of the day. I might play in bed or something. So something I can kind of jump straight to a fight is more appealing to me than the long. I'm not usually giving a ton of time on my Switch compared to the other consoles.
Yeah, and it does something really smart with the quest design too. There are two different types of quests. You have the village quest, which is your single player only quests, where I believe I read that I could be wrong on this, that the monster you hunt in that quest is about 75% health compared to its other type of quest line, because those are designed to be single player, a little bit easier to get in and get out. Like, you'll be done in like 10 minutes. Versus the multiplayer quest, which is your tedious, like, your Monster Hunter experience, the push and pull, going back and forth, having people online come in at the last minute, and then you take down the monster together, moments like that. So the fact that it can give you, like, both that, like, streamlined single-player experience and, like, the big epic battles of, like, the multiplayer.
It kind of makes
really
sense.
Cool.
Like, if you think about the Switch as it's, like, this console that lives between two wards, the portable ward and the docked on your TV ward, you're going to probably not be playing multiplayer portable.
Mm-hmm.
You're traveling on the train or whatever. You don't really have Wi-Fi. So a single player get in, get out kind of experience works. And then you play multiplayer more likely at times when you have more time. So it kind of, I'm a fan of any game developer that does some serious thought to the hardware that they're working on.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell if someone's like, well, the multiplayer, you're probably committed to at least an hour here. The single player, you might be playing on your commute. So let's, kind of tailor the game for the console. That's good design, shockingly enough.
Amazing. It is a really great game, and if you never played a Monster Hunter before, it is, to be really quick, an awesome gameplay loop of you kill a monster, you carve that monster up and use its pelt to make better weapons and armor so you can hunt bigger monsters. And you repeat that over and over again until you get sick of it, but spoiler alert, it never gets old. It always feels good to get that last set in your armor that has like the electric resistance. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to fight that electric dragon now. And then get absolutely wrecked, then crawl back, and then be like, all right, I'm going to make this a multiplayer mission now so other players can come in and help me with this.
It's the Elden Ring thing where it's like, I got my ass kicked a bunch. Now let's bring some people in. Come help me, let me solo. Like there's like on Reddit, there was a little listing of like what time of day he gets online. They're like he's Central Time. Like Reddit has figured out that he's on Central Time. So like people are like 8 o'clock Central Time's the time.
I think IGN did a big interview with that guy.
Really?
Damn. Like they sat him down and like he like discussed his like Elden Ring. He was just like, I just like this boss. So I memorized the patterns.
Good for him. Anything else you've been playing other than Monster Hunter?
That's basically it. Besides the game we've been playing for the show.
Yeah. You also did some retro video game shopping recently, didn't you?
I did.
You got a couple of stuff. You want to real quick list what you got?
Yeah, a buddy of mine was at a retro shop and asked if I wanted anything, so I sent him a list, and he is going to Tanner, a friend of the show.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we know.
Tanner.
Yeah.
He's gonna mail me a new copy I got of Contra Shattered Soldier, a game for the PS2. A Contra boss rush game for the PS2.
Okay, I feel like there's a theme here with your playing recently.
I like boss rushes, and then a game called Champions of Norath, which was a Sony published Diablo clone.
That was
on
the game
PS2.
that had the crazy advertisements in the magazines.
Probably.
It was not the naked lady, but the lady in like leather bikinis. I remember this. I was 14, and like it was like 2-page like spreads that like you had to be careful when you were reading the magazine because it was real questionable when you opened it. So yeah, I remember that damn game. I think I actually played that game because it was like a Blockbuster rental.
Yeah,
or
I read it
something.
from Blockbuster and had a lot of fun back in the day. So
It was like it's similar to like Dark Alliance.
yeah, it's Dark Alliance, Diablo. I believe there's like branching like choices that matter just like a little bit, but it's mostly like it's a good loot game. So loot games and boss rushes are.
Yeah.
I found out my niche. So
I kind of wish I went back and played those Dark Alliance re-releases, but they're like $20.
they're on my wish
Weren't they
list.
on Game Pass?
No.
That was
They're on
the
Switch.
new
They're on
one.
Switch
That was the
now.
new one.
The new one, who I did give a try. I even was going to like try to push y'all into playing it.
Yeah.
But then I played like an hour of it, and I was like, never mind.
It might still be downloaded. I don't know. I probably need to clear up that space on my hard drive.
I was actually kind of excited for it because I was like, this seems like a fun game that me and Michael and Nick can play, and boy, it's a video game. It's a video game ass video game.
Are y'all gonna play that Diablo phone game?
Yeah, hell fuck yeah.
I think I am.
I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
I mean, why not?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, why not, Michael? You got phones, don't you?
I do got a phone.
Apparently, it's coming out on PC too now.
I won't.
Yeah, but it's got the interface of the phone,
Right.
so it looks ugly as shit.
I won't. A bit. Also, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. I will not talk about that. Have you been playing that too, Nick? That sounds like something you would get into.
I've never got into Yu-Gi-Oh. That was like my one blind spot.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
It was the big deal in 4th grade. So much they had to make an announcement. So I was like, "Stop trading Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards in class."
Yeah.
I went to a field trip as a 3rd grader to a farm, and I do not remember anything about that field trip because I was trying to make a Charizard card trade, and I think I pulled it off at the end. I think I gave up like a Cubone and a couple other cards to get that Charizard. And I wish I would have kept that damn Charizard because, boy, I'd be selling that shit to Logan Paul right now.
That thing, I guarantee you, is crumpled up in terrible condition.
Oh, shit, I sold those off like 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, those things, if they make it that long and they're not packed fresh, they're all like
Yeah.
ripped up.
Anything else, Michael?
That's it for me.
Okay. I have successfully moved, so life has returned to normal starting like 10 hours ago. I actually have set up a really nice setup for all my video game consoles. I'm planning on sometime this year acquiring a PlayStation 2, buying back a PlayStation 2 because I sold mine many years ago. And I've got a setup now where I can have all my consoles like ready for plug-in and such. It's very nice. So I finally played some video games. I played Lost in Random. Is it Lost in Random?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Lost in Random. Which is a pretty fun little game. It's a EA Play through Game Pass release. It's like kind of like a hack and slash, but with a element of throwing a dice and being able to use that dice to summon card kind of abilities. So how the mechanic works is once you gain access to the dice, you'll roll the dice as you power it up, and that'll give you access to, depending on what your dice roll is, a certain number of cards from your deck, and you can bring in like a weapon or something or a bomb or something, and it's a limited time use. So theoretically, while you're using that weapon, you can build up the dice again to roll him and try to get a better score and bring in a more powerful weapon. So it's like a deck building hack and slash game, very Tim Burton inspired. The story's kind of very much something you would see out of like a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
I played for about 3 hours of it so far. I think I'll stick with it. It's a cute game. It's fun, you know. I like it. It's not bad. The Tim Burton style is not something that appeals to me. Like, I'm not a guy who's like in love with his films. Like, I've seen The Nightmare Before Christmas and stuff like that, and it's fine. But it's not like it's not my thing, man.
Yeah, the way you're describing this, there's like a real ebb and flow in my interest. I'm like, I don't like Tim Burton, but you're saying card game with dice rolls.
I would try it because it doesn't. The aesthetic is very Tim Burton-ish, but the gameplay and stuff like that is very good. And it seems to be telling a fun, kind of lighthearted story. It's like a young girl who's dealing with a kind of a war in which her sister has been taken to another realm ran by this queen that kind of runs the whole country based on like the random dice roll you get when you turn 14. So like if you're a 1, you live in this crappy town that has to support the kingdom, but if you're a 6 or a 6, you get to go live in paradise basically. And her sister is a 6 who gets moved to paradise, and this girl is going from 1 to go get to her sister. She has dreams that her sister is in trouble.
It's the Hunger Games.
sort of without child murder so far, but
That's good.
no, still early. But it seems like you're walking your way through the different towns of the different numbers. So it's like very tied, like the dice mechanic is tied into the ward building. And like I said, you got a cute little dice guy who hangs out with you and makes funny noises. Yeah. No, I suggest it so far. I've been having fun. But I haven't had access to my the internet because I don't have the internet set up at my house yet. And so I've been just playing whatever was on my Switch. So I have restarted and almost completed Dusk again. Fun fact, Dusk is an amazing fucking video game. And I've also been struggling because while we were playing Metal Gear Solid 2 for the show, because I'm having to take breaks by the nature of playing it for the show, I have been staring down restarting Metal Gear Solid 3. So there's a chance I might be running Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 side by side.
That'd be interesting.
Because I feel like now that I'm like invested in Metal Gear, if I go back to 3, I'm going to have a hell of a lot more time. Because if you remember correctly, if you had the chance to go back and listen to the wonderful Metal Gear Solid 3 saga, which was our first Metal Gear because we're playing him in story order.
Our first and only 4-part.
Yeah, only 4-parter ever. I played that very like kill everybody, aggressive because I didn't really understand Metal Gear. Now that I understand Metal Gear, I want to go back and try to be a little bit more, invested in the world and play it in like the style that I played 1 and now 2 in. So maybe next time I'll be playing 3 and 2 at the same time. We'll see what kind of clusterfuck of keeping notes straight that's going to be. But yeah, it's been great. I'm happy to be back into a normal sense of life where I can play video games. Speaking of video games, we should probably talk about the video game we have all got together to talk about. Metal Gear Solid 2. Like I said, going back, if you hadn't had a chance to listen to the 4-part Metal Gear Solid 3 saga or the 2-part Metal Gear Solid saga, I always say Metal Gear, forgetting that it's very, very important to label it as Metal Gear Solid, not just Metal Gear. Oh, I did play Metal Gear. I went and played the first Metal Gear because I beat 3, it's unlocked. So I went and played the first Metal Gear for a little bit. I do not recommend it, but
it took me years to go and endure and finish that thing.
It's impressive for the time.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, but it's not something that I would like really encourage. Like, I played a bunch of the first Castlevania yesterday on the Switch collection. I had like a couple hours and I just played some of that. And like I can go back and play some old Nintendo games and stuff, but that one it's
inventing a genre, so it's a little.
It's very sketchy.
Metal Gear 2 is the much better game of those.
I would have started with that because you told me that before, but I was like, maybe I'll play them all. And now I'm like, probably should just go play 2.
Speaking of 2.
Yeah, speaking of 2, let's stay back on target. Michael, do you want to give us, because you're like our resident Metal Gear guy, kind of a refresh on where we are standing going into Metal Gear Solid 2?
All right, so going into Metal Gear Solid 2, the main thing is that after the Shadow Moses incident, Ocelot steals the Rex's dummy warhead data, basically the source code to Metal Gear, and hands it over to the President of the United States, who is the third Snake, named Solidus Snake.
Just something that they throw out in the last minute and a half of Metal Gear Solid.
And also Liquid Snake, who we thought was the inferior clone, was actually the superior clone, and the man we play as Solid Snake is the inferior clone of Big Boss.
These are the big revelations that are made in the phone call that Ocelot makes at the end of Metal Gear Solid, which seems to be a common trope, because that's also what he does in 3, where he makes his big phone call to be, reveal that he's Adam and all this stuff. We'll get into plenty of talk about Ocelot.
Yes, we will.
My new favorite Metal Gear character. The guy who made the massive turn in my heart. From when I first came across Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 3, I'm like, this fucking dork. So now, every time I see Ocelot, I'm like, it's Ocelot! Look at Ocelot!
Due to circumstances that we'll talk about later in this game, I think I like him less now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get into it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this. I've been looking forward to I played through this in the first couple of days since the last recording we did of Half-Life 2, which was our last game. You should go back and listen to those. They're great. And so, like, I kind of flew through it because I was really, really excited about playing it. I've really enjoyed playing it so far. So I've been, like, just kind of jazzing for the past, like, week and a half, being like, I gotta fucking talk about this shit.
This is a game absolutely worth talking about. This was a game that I wanted to do since we started the show, but I'm like, oh, it's going to take us a long time to get there.
Yeah.
And now that
You
we're
say
finally
this is
here.
your favorite one?
This is my favorite Metal Gear Solid.
So far, I still like the first Metal Gear Solid more,
Yeah. but
we'll get through this. And
we're
we'll
only
see.
about a third of the way through. So.
Yeah, who knows? There's a couple of reasons why I'm having issues. So let's start off what we're playing it on. Nick, me and you are playing on the Metal Gear Solid HD collection for the Xbox 360. Michael, me and you went out retro gaming shopping and tracked down an original PS2 copy.
Original PS2 copy, still in good condition, not a crease in that manual.
I was so excited when I read that manual because it was back when games had great manuals. And I was like, there's not even like a spine pop in the manual. Like, it's very like I was holding it like I was holding like a sacred text because I didn't want to be the guy that's like crease the I didn't want to buy like Michael to buy this very nice PS2 copy and me pull it out in the car and bend the cover back to read it and stuff.
Even like the inserts, like the registration form was like it had never been unfolded.
I was trying to get Michael to send in the registration form, be like, how did you learn about this game? All that fun stuff.
Which magazine did you hear about?
Yeah,
this game?
the Game Pro and all that stuff. So let's just jump right into it. Michael, you are extremely familiar with this game, so you're going to be our kind of guide throughout this game.
I don't want to delve too much in me personally delve into story stuff because I don't want to accidentally slip something that comes later, but I am going to like frame some things and kind of lead you guys in the right direction, like correct you if you guys are stumbling too far off base versus like an actual prediction.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's very valid. Couple of things I want to talk about. Intro, when you click the game start, it's pretty damn cool. It's very cool little trailer, little cinematic. Lots of cuts. Lots of Snake doing cool shit. Just to make sure, everybody clicked the starting off with the ship, correct? No one jumped to starting off with the big shell, right?
It's only on your version. In my version, it goes straight to the main game. But on the re-release of it, they have the option to do tanker plant or tanker or plant.
Okay.
Tanker plant is the entirety of the game. That's the PS2 version.
But
because
Pretty sure that I
initially,
just chose whatever it was default on.
you started
That's Tanker
off with
Plant.
Snake's mission.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's apparently like the
canonical.
the canonical way of doing it. But like I did not know this until I talked to Michael that you can start off with the plant, and so like you could just jump straight to riding.
the
Which
original
would be, I feel like, a mistake.
The original plan was to have new players start with the plant and have returning players from Metal Gear Solid start off with the tanker. Because the idea was, if this is your first Metal Gear, you're going to be a rookie, so you're going to be like Raiden.
That makes sense based on how they talk to your character in the game.
And how the tutorial is not given to you until you
the
play
second
as
mission.
Raiden.
Yeah.
Which it was kind of frustrating for me, because there was a couple of things I forgot, like about Metal Gear. Like I sent a message to Michael. I was like, "How you break necks again?" Because I was just
I didn't
like,
know that was in this game.
Hammer square.
"Yes, well, X.
Yeah.
For me and you, it's X. You just walk up behind him, hit X, and tap it a bunch, and you'll snap the neck. Similar to how you did it in the
I
first
just
game.
punch everybody. Punch everybody and kick them.
You gotta see, I was doing that on the Tankle.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna start off with the canonical way. Then it starts off. We get kind of a place setting of how many years it's been since Shadow Moses. I believe it's been
2 years
2
since
years?
Shadow
Yes.
Moses on the on the Hudson River above the USS Discovery, and then Snake fills us in with that they've got reports of that Metal Gear was being shipped on this container, and but even Snake says this whole thing stinks, but our noses have been out in the cold for too long. So like,
yes.
they should have saw that this was a setup.
Snake is aware something's just off about this whole thing. First thing Snake does is turn invisible and jump off the George Washington Bridge.
It's a great opening.
I was like, yeah, this is pretty fucking cool. And then hits the ground and breaks his invisibility.
The Terminator reference with him on the ground with the electricity going all over the place.
Boy, there's a lot of movie references in there.
What are you talking about? That was the only one. There's
Yeah.
not a single.
Not anymore. I didn't have a whole section in my notes here called "Boy, Kojima loves movies."
I have a feeling that these are all the moments that I just like look at the screen and it was all lost on me, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's very
weird.
much a Terminator rip.
Yeah.
You know, he lands in the same way Schwarzenegger appears in the first Terminator, with the electricity and everything. Except he's not naked. Terminator Schwarzenegger, butt ass naked.
Naked Snake, different guy.
Yeah, Nick, completely different guy. Couple of things that have changed. Snake is now walking as basically a member of an independent organization that's entire purpose is to stop Metal Gears. Because Ocelot stole the Metal Gear schematics, Metal Gears are now being made by everybody. It's the new nuclear arms race, and it's just Metal Gears.
They say the technology was so advanced that it influences all technology going forward. They even say all like the website infrastructure is based on Metal Gear because it was so technologically advanced that it's just it bleed over into everything.
Which is kind of a good reference to like the nuclear arms race, because nuclear power and things like that was also coming from that technology. So and also for a while there, like radiation and things like that was being sold for all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, hey man, you want to check your shoe size? Stick your foot in this box and we'll irradiate your foot and let you look at and get like radiation was like going to be the miracle thing, right? And then we realized that was a bad mistake. But it's kind of a similar kind of look at it. We are here because the Marine Corps, the game really, really wants you to know, in particular, this is being ran by the Marine Corps, not the Navy, not the Army. Like, they spent a lot of time explaining that the Marine Corps is doing this, and they have not told the Army or the Navy. We are trying to get photos of this new Metal Gear because we're basically trying to, like, expose that they're creating this Metal Gear and put pressure on the United States to, I guess, stop the project.
Yeah.
Well, it's very similar to, like, a lot of UN organizations who go around inspecting countries and being like, hey, you can't have this facility is creating material for nuclear weapons or chemical weapons, things like that. So we're here specifically to take photos. I'm not trying to do anything crazy. Snake's just here to take some pictures of the Metal Gear and get the heck out of Dodge. Just a couple of things also I want to talk about. Really cool visual of this whole tangle. I'm a sucker for games that really focus on creating a singular environment. I think they do a really good job with the ship here. I really think it feels pretty cool, and it feels like an environment that makes sense. Like when you navigate it, you can kind of understand where everything connects.
That's what I love so much about this whole trilogy, because Shadow Moses felt like a lived-in place. Both environments in this game, they set it up so well, and like even the jungle in 3 was all like set up beforehand. So.
Yeah, it feels like a lived-in place that you're really. It feels right. It feels like it's not just a sequence of glorified hallways. Even though that's kind of what it is, it hides that mechanic very well. Things do not go as planned because this is Metal Gear. Basically a Russian special forces team led by a gentleman whose name is
Gurlukovich.
I was going to let somebody else say that first.
If you remember, Gurlukovich was name dropped in Metal Gear Solid 1 because he's the guy who supplied the weapons to the coup on Shadow Moses. And Ocelot makes a reference to him as like, in return, we get the money, Gurlukovich gets Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And they said, nah, we're not doing that. Screw Gurlukovich. And so Ocelot, so when you realize that, you're like, oh, Ocelot's totally playing this guy.
Well, you also realize here that he's like a long-time investment in trying to get access to this technology. So like, he didn't get it through Shadow Moses. Now he's going to get access through launching this assault on this tanker ship that's transporting it. This kind of gives us the ability to know, because at first we were getting really told that we had to be non-lethal. We're not here to kill anybody. When the Russian Special Forces guys show up, it's on. You can break necks. You can do what you got to do. My favorite thing is we can tell he's Russian because there's a long zoom in on him as he puts on stereotypical Russian hat. And then Snake's
the trumpet plays too.
Yeah. And then my favorite thing is he's like, they're using AK-74s, which is standard issue for the. And then like he puts on very stereotypical Russian hat, and he's like, he's a Russian. And I was like, oh shit, Snake.
He doesn't point at the hair. He points out the hair. No Marine barber touched that hair.
Yeah,
And he puts the hat on to really sell it.
I said, thank you. It's very pro wrestling of him to be like, oh, we got to make sure the crowd knows I'm the bad guy. Do. Another note, Ocelot here seems so much better than in Metal Gear Solid 1. He's not as annoying. He's not as, like, sniveling. Otacon.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
No, I typed Ocelot here. My autocorrect got me. Otacon. Otacon's so much better than he was in Metal Gear Solid. In Metal Gear Solid, he was helpless. He was pissing himself, like, constantly. Like, we were getting shot at by Sniper Wolf, and he was like, don't hurt her, Snake. She feeds dogs.
That's what happens whenever you see the love of your life die before your eyes.
Fucking dork.
He's a changed man now.
But Otacon is so much better here. He's not as bad. He's not a big dork.
Now he travels around with the dude that killed her.
Yeah. Well,
It's complicated,
he
man.
saw it from like 25 feet away. I feel like he can get over it pretty quick. I just want to talk about a couple of things right off the bat here. The AI in this game is fucking amazing. I want to get this conversation out first because I feel like I'm going to be hitting on it a lot. The guard AI here is more intelligent and more able to like actually outthink you or like be competitive against you than a lot of guard AI in video games made today. And even better than the guard AI in Metal Gear Solid 3.
I agree with that, yeah.
Because little things. Michael, you're playing on hard.
This is the first time I'm playing on hard mode.
So
And
Michael,
I realized that there's, which I'm glad because it also changes some things up for me coming up later. So I wasn't able to rely on rote memorization. I actually had to like rethink how I play this game in some ways.
I want you, when those points pop up, to kind of make like a Michael note.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it's like on hard. Because
Yeah.
I'm playing on normal. I think you're probably playing on normal too.
Yeah.
But like little things, like when you get spotted by a guard, one, instead of just standing right in front of you and trying to make the call on the radio, they retreat. They run. When they pull the radio out, you can shoot the radio to stop them from calling. But they'll shake the radio. But the AI takes into consideration how much of the sentence he got out.
Yeah.
So if he's like, the enemy is here, and then you shoot the radio, they will dispatch troops because they heard enough of the statement. If he's like, to control, shoot the radio, control was like, what's going on? What are you doing? And they might send one guy instead of sending the 4 squad.
Yeah.
It's like it takes into consideration how much he gets out. I've been spotted before and they're searching and like I will hide in my box in the corner and a guy will pick up the box. Like he picked up the box and looked at the box but he didn't take it all the way off, put it back down and went back on the patrol. But then right when the patrol was over and they were like sending him back, he stopped back by my box and picked it up all the way and found me. Like little things like that, how they stack up on doors when they come in. Like they come in as a group to take you out. Like I said, I love the fact like they'll engage you and run to call for help. Like they just feel significantly more competent, and because the game doesn't have like easy third-person shooting controls, which is kind of the purpose of it, they give you a challenge. When you are spotted, you have such a limited window to end that threat. And like I was like, games don't even do that today. Like enemies today aren't smart enough to be like taking like there's so many triggers in games like alarm state, like investigation state, alarm state. Here it's like how much of the sentence did he get out? Did you shoot him and kill him? If they come across the guy knocked out on the floor, how do they react? If they come across the guy who's dead, how do they react? You were talking about they track footprints.
Yeah,
for you.
I came in from the rain, and then the guard saw the footprints go to a locker, so he followed it to the locker, then opened it up, and
That's
then
crazy.
I was caught.
Like that level of intelligence in the guard AI
It's
just mind blowing.
There was a moment where I stood out in the rain for too long, after the Olga fight, trying to collect too much. So when I went back in again into the warm, Snake started sneezing, which was a problem because they could hear me sneeze and like trying to follow me.
Or like how Raiden would trip on Bard shit. Like he'll trip. But like stuff like that just impressed the hell out of me. And I was like, because in Metal Gear Solid, if you didn't want to get caught, it was pretty easy not to get caught. You know, like you could run right behind them and they wouldn't hear shit.
Yeah.
Here, like they can hear footsteps. They can track you pretty well when they are engaging you. They work together. Like the big guy with the shield comes in first. It just feels, for a game of the time, mind-blowing AI. And I know that they're doing probably a ton of tricks behind the scene. But like I said, I'm just so impressed with the AI in this game.
On hard mode, that vision cone is like a suggestion. If I am like pretty far outside that vision cone, they will at least like obviously see me across the room and be like, "What's that?" and just like walk over to me. I won't get an alert state until I hit that cone. But even the fact that I got watch like the general direction they're looking has me like rethinking my entire way of how I'm playing this game.
When you get to Raiden is so challenging, I imagine, because Raiden doesn't have the radar defaulted to every building he enters. He has to go trigger it.
That and the fact that I believe their vision is increased because it is a daytime mission. Which
they even talk about. The Raiden's never done a daytime mission in VR. But we'll talk about Raiden soon. So Snake's gotta obviously still complete his mission to investigate this Metal Gear, but he's also concerned about the fact that the Russians are here to try to steal it. Couple of cool things here also. Also, by the way, you can kick a guy and knock him over the edge of the boat. I kicked a guy and he went flying, and I was like, "Oh, that's fucking cool that I just kicked him off the boat."
I like the screams they do, like that.
Yeah, really great. Not a lot to talk about here. Just a lot of Snake kind of like trying to investigate until we get to the top where we meet Olga, who is our first boss fight of the game. Super similar to the first boss fight you get with Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 3.
But not as bullshit.
Not nearly as bullshit.
Well, this one's a PS2 tech demo.
Yeah, there's some cool shit here if you like tech. This whole game is a tech demo in a lot of ways, but damn, it's a good one. With the fact that you after getting in just a pop-up shooting fight with her, she goes and hits a tarp that's floating in front of her, so you have to figure out where she's at and shooting her through the tarp.
Or you can shoot the buckles off the tarp.
Yeah,
go flying,
Oh, you can shoot the buckles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That it's very cool. I shot her through the tarp.
Me too.
But I didn't know you could shoot the buckles.
Yeah,
Man,
that's
that's
crazy.
a couple of story things. She is the daughter of Golukovich.
Of Sergei, yeah.
Okay, Sergei. There's you, Sergei. Eric appreciates the fact that we have another name. She's the daughter of Sergei. She's being encouraged heavily to get off of the boat here. She's done her part. Let's get her out of here. She's also apparently has a baby. She's pregnant. A couple of cool things here also.
Snake injects a pregnant woman with 100 tranquilizer darts. Surely that won't cause anything. No.
Snake's like, listen. As we will later describe, there's two extremes to how you deal with people in Metal Gear Universe. There's Raiden, who just points his gun a lot and goes, freeze! And stop what you're doing! And stares. And then there's Snake, who's a get done kind of guy. Snake's like, listen, Lei shoots at me, she gets a shit ton of tranquilizer darts.
Also,
we'll figure it out from there.
It's worth noting, guys, The Matrix came out around this time.
Oh, yeah, so much slow motion.
Slow-mo, the bit where Olga does the Spetsnaz, knife bullet trick, and Snake, it just slowly grazes Snake's nose as he dodges it in slow-mo.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, The Matrix.
Yeah,
We've all seen that.
Yeah, you could tell he saw The Matrix, and he went back that night. He's like, everybody trash all the cutscenes. All of them. Slow motion everywhere. Couple cool things about the Olga fight, other than the fact that we put a pregnant woman to sleep with a shit ton of tranquilizer darts. She shoots one of those cool Spasnitz knives, Spotsnit, what was it? Spetsnaz knife. She shoots one of them. That's one of the ones that eject from the knife. I thought that was kind of a cool little cool reference to a piece of military technology. And it's, like I said, it's a pretty cool little fight. Snake doesn't really know what's going on at this point, so it's not a lot to talk about because Snake's kind of in the dark like we are. Mm-hmm. After we put her to sleep, we just leave the pregnant woman laying outside in the rain and proceed to progress down into the boat.
Important bit here, we're also photographed at this point by the Cypher.
Yes, the Cypher, who is possibly connected to the people who gave Ocelot this information about this this mission. We also will eventually learn that Ocelot's stepsister is the one who...
Otacon.
All my damn thing freaking got auto-corrected to Ocelot. Freaking... Okay, Otacon.
Ocelot saw your phone and was like, I'm the most important part here.
Much like Metal Gear Solid 2. No, but the stepsister of Otacon is potentially the person who is...
Yeah, it was sent by someone named EE, which is Emma Emmerich, his sister's initials.
Yeah, initials. I think it's kind of weird that he just assumes that that's clearly his sister. EE couldn't stand for anything else.
I mean, that was mainly what he said. He only called her. He never called her like sis or like by her full name. He just called her EE,
Which is a weird nickname.
Yeah, Otacon's a weird dude.
Imagine like walking up like, "Hey EE, what do you want to eat for dinner tonight?"
He went to nuclear weapons because he liked anime. He's not the most sound guy.
Yeah, but he's getting there. Boy, is he better than one. I'm just gonna say that. I was like most improved Otacon. So our information. This is making Snake also a little bit concerned because he's like, you're kind of running off of a lot of assumptions here. Like Otacon kind of sent us in without really doing his homework. Like he did his own individual like checking behind it. Like I feel like he wasn't completely reckless, but he's not being...
He fact-checked the information, but without questioning whether the source was like of good intent or not.
Exactly. Like it feels like they were meant to be here on this ship at this time, and Snake's more concerned about that than Otacon. As we're moving down into the facility itself, a couple little cool callbacks. There's just a random shadow of a Daw that's Raven from Metal Gear Solid 1, and there was zero reason for this.
If you shoot him, he goes and then shoots tiny machine gun pellets.
Which
That's pretty great.
I just think it's funny. There's like, and Snake like straight up says like Raven, and then grounds the corner. It's just a little Daw. I was like, boy, like after the Shadow Moses incident, did they like make like a Mattel figures off of all these characters? Like kids,
the Foxhound Commando action figures. Now available at your Toys R Us.
You too could play with all the awesome Metal Gear action. It's just a kid like with a little like shirtless liquid being like, "Aha, brother!" And like another kid puts his on top of a little mound, like in the G.I. Joe commercials of Snake being like, "We're gonna fist fight shirtless on top of this mech." I'd buy the shit out of those.
Oh yeah, they had Metal Gear action figures when I was growing up.
They do have like nice ones, but
yeah,
like, I think the company who made a bunch of like the horror like figures made Metal Gear figures, but like it was back in like the early 2000s. I don't think you can find them for anything that's not like extremely expensive.
Yeah.
But if someone would like to just send us Metal Gear figures, I'd be more than happy to put that on a shelf somewhere. Another little fact, I sent a thing on the Discord. Kojima's going to Kojima. We got plenty of lockers with ladies just in bikinis.
There's so many bikini pictures. I'd forgotten how many bikini pictures there are in this game.
There's a shit ton of bikini pictures in this game. And then there's also like some weirdly wholesome pictures in the back. Like occasionally you'll open one up and it's just like, here's a bikini lady. Then you open up another one and it's like a lady holding hands with somebody. I was like, who the fuck put this in their locker? This one in particular is my favorite though. Poster on the locker is of the lady from the front. If you open up the locker and get in it, it's the lady of the back of the lady.
Like the back of her t-shirt.
I thought that was fucking hilarious. We do a couple of puzzles here, get past some mines.
Yeah, the Semtex Mines is basically there to teach you how to use like the first person view, and basically is the tutorial of you gotta check all of the crevices of these spaces to like solve these puzzles.
Which is oddly helpful when you're going to be checking the crevices to find C4.
Yep.
I thought it was stupid that in the first one, they're like, use that fire extinguisher to see the rays, and it's on the other side of the mines.
Yeah, well, you shoot it. So you're supposed to be encouraged to shoot it.
Yeah, you shoot the fire extinguisher and then it.
Oh
yeah.
So I just used
leaks.
the cigs because
Yeah, you can use the cigarettes too.
that's what you do in the last game.
Yeah, it is weird that like I get why they don't tell you because they're probably assuming that if you played the first one, you would just know to pull the cigarettes out.
Yeah.
But to shoot it was weird to me because I was actively trying not to shoot because I didn't want to make noise.
All right.
So like I was like, well, if I shoot this thing, it's gonna go off and that guard's gonna come over. So it's like I get like it was a little weird to encourage me to make noise right there because there's a guard who patrols literally right beside it.
Yeah.
So I think that it's kind of almost meant to be like as an experienced player, you were like, well, shit, I could do that, or I could just pull this cigarette out and smoke. But yeah, there's a couple. It does the tutorial stuff for the next part of the game, but it's definitely running off the assumption that you've played the first one. Like, there was a lot of this is just straight up, you played the first one, get used to it.
Yeah.
I like there's a guard here that's rocking out with some headphones, so you just walk right up on him. You know, he's just sitting there dancing, getting down. I felt a little bit bad about shooting him in the head with the tranquilizer. This is the first forced combat sequence also, as we're getting down into the valves, where there's a shootout with a Russian special forces team. It's okay. Shooting in Metal Gear is never great. And this is just very much like, this is when you should probably pull a pistol out and shoot everybody. Because like at this point, you shouldn't have been doing that because you're just going to draw a ton of attention. But it's like, here's the combat sequence. Shoot everybody. You know, it felt kind of tutorial-like.
Yeah.
This is also when we are first realize that Ocelot is here.
Mm-hmm.
Because a guy straight up locks us in a room. Like, this Special Forces soldier's solution to the problem. As we walk by, we just killed all our friends. But he's got us dead to rights. Like, we're like walking right. He could just shoot us in the back of the head and be the hero of Russia. But instead, he sneaks up and seals the bulkhead behind us like, ha ha ha. He'll never catch us. He'll never get out of there now. Going to the place he was trying to go. And then, of course, Ocelot shows up. And he's like, cool, Ocelot, I'm glad you're here. And Ocelot shoots him in the head. This is my favorite sequence of this entire mission. We are coming in on the Marines having a big speech when they're getting like the rundown on Metal Gear from the head general here. And we have to sneak around the Marines in their speech. And there's just a ton of fun tech demo-like stuff here. Like moving across the projector in between the slides. Stealthily sneaking behind the crowd as they're not looking. There's a fun fake out here in which he goes, look to the right. And everybody looks to the right. But then at one point he goes, there's an intruder here, or something on those lines. And, like, it's just like a fake out, you know, where he's, you know, just like, if that was true, you guys responded well. But I thought it was kind of fun because I was way out of sight at that point when it happened. But I was like, how the hell did I get seen? Like, and also if you do get seen, it's just an instant fail state. So it gives you kind of a heads up that it's not what you think it is. But it's a fun little, you know, thing. I liked it.
Important note here, the commander talks about how the Shadow Motors incident happened under the Sears administration.
Yes, previous
administration.
So the presidents have been switched out.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a fun little bit of like lore in there. You know, he references having a daughter and wanting to create a world that's better for his children by having big walking nuclear shooting robots.
Deterrents, right?
Deterrents, yeah, that works so well.
Well, it's
around the world.
Well, Ray's whole thing is as an anti-Metal Gear. So it's like, we can destroy the weapons, but then we also have the weapon that destroys
we can destroy the weapons, but we can destroy those guys who shot at us too. I really like this whole sequence. It leads up to us taking some photos, uploading the photos, and Otacon gets like a little emoji version of Otacon that's like, this picture sucks, Snake, but I like this one right here. I do like that Otacon gets a little emoji Otacon. I feel like if you made like a Metal Gear emoticon pack or emoji pack, I would probably use it. Just Sid Nick, Otacon emojis.
There was something I liked here that I'd never noticed before. On the like bottom and like the copyright for Otacon's program, it says designed and programmed by H.E. Works. He works.
That's
I'm like,
fun.
I like that.
That's fun. Yeah, I like that. Like I said, a lot of gameplay stuff here. Not a lot of like lore stuff until we hit this sequence right here.
Then it goes pretty crazy.
So, middle speech decides just to walk on up in here. No big deal.
The Spurs.
I yeah. Ocelot just walks on in. Just like, what's up? How everybody doing today?
I got a
me,
bomb.
Ocelot. I got a bomb. My favorite thing is the Marines in the 3 other rooms, where there was like 100 of them in each room, react by just watching the television as if they can never get close enough to what's happening.
You see how tight that door is? They have to like line up single file to funnel through there.
But the Marines in the room have a massive shootout with everybody. But the Marines, like all the 300 other Marines, are just like, "What's gonna happen? Oh no!"
I imagine those doors were probably sealed off too. So
I'm sure.
Ocelot's like 10 steps ahead of everybody, so I'm sure he thought of that.
I really like how this reveal hits me, because I realized I was like, Ocelot's got 2 arms. That's weird. And then it's like he switches to liquid, and I like my note just says liquid with like shit, like a shit ton of question marks. And like my note here is very confused. Ocelot lost his arm and Liquid now has one of his arms attached to Ocelot. I guess that means that he controls his mind too. Metal Gear logic is weird.
Yeah.
So this is where we learn that Ocelot and Liquid are now 2 people that are sharing a body.
Your 2 favorite villains are now the same person. Congratulations. This is what you wanted.
I don't like this. I don't like it.
I knew somebody was. I kind of liked it because I was like, sure, why not?
It's also good to note we know Ocelot's parentage also at this point because we played 3.
Yes.
So he's the son of the boss and the Sorrow, the Ghost Man.
Yeah. So that kind of plays into it, right? And also, I assume that Liquid taking over Ocelot is due to nanomachines, because I blame nanomachines to everything. So I'm like, well, clearly Liquid's personality was in the nanomachines, and that's how he took over Ocelot. Why Ocelot attached another man's arm to his body?
It was right there. It's in the snow. It was kept preserved. He was
Just
right
take
like,
that
yeah,
shit
this
up.
one.
I'll take this one. It has a tattoo on it.
He was like, this guy had pretty good forearms, you know? I just like also that, if you look at Ocelot, like his forearms and his hands look completely different. Like, they're different skin tones and everything.
Also notice when Ocelot is doing like the gun fu stuff here, he's only using his left hand as opposed to his right hand. It is until Liquid takes over when the right hand becomes like the dominant hand in the cutscenes.
Well, that's like it makes him. That's kind of cool though, because if you think like Ocelot knows how to do all the gun tricks, Liquid probably doesn't. So like the concept that he has to use his only hand that knows how to do it, because the right hand's a fucking dumbass when it comes to switching guns
It's
around.
like a Jekyll and Hyde scenario, but they're both Hyde.
So if you grabbed like Ocelot's left hand and stopped him from using the gun, I like to think that the other one's real shitty at it. He can't shoot shit because it's Liquid, and Liquid just punches people shirtless. He doesn't really shoot guns much. I liked it. Tell me why you don't like it.
I don't know. I don't like it.
Does it rub you right?
Yeah.
You're just like, I don't.
Yeah. Less Liquid, more Ocelot.
And then
Yeah, I do have fears that I might lose my love of like Ocelot because Ocelot's so cool, which is a line that 2020 Eric would never believe that Eric was saying today. But like I am a little afraid that Ocelot's gonna get pushed below Liquid now, because like the real problem is Liquid, and Ocelot's kind of just there. Because I think Ocelot's probably the most capable person in the Metal Gear universe at this point. He's playing everybody.
Yeah.
Is he the most dangerous boss in the games? Hell no. But he's the guy who's using his brain more than his brawn, But I'm going to play it out. I'm going to see.
it's also important here that he says he's stealing Ray to take it back to the Patriots.
Yeah, I love this thing because he's like everyone in the room thinks he's taking it to the Russians, and he says the line, "I betrayed my country during the Cold War." Like, you idiot! I haven't been serving Russia's interests since like the 1960s. And like it goes back to, like I said, Ocelot plays everybody. Like at the end of Metal Gear 3, because we're playing this in story sequence, we learn that he's not supporting the Russians. And so like the fact that he's like, you dumbass, I haven't been supporting you since the 60s. Like I'm really supporting my true masters, the Patriots.
The lolly do lay low.
Yeah, like the general says
like
that.
the secret society.
Which
aspect
we
of it.
get it because we played 3, but at the time everyone's just like, "What the fuck is the Patriots?" That's that thing that had like one line at the end of Metal Gear Solid. Bunch of cool stuff here. He jacks the Ray. There's a bunch of like attempts to stop him. Nothing works. I like to think that Liquid takes over when he takes over Ray. So if you kind of play into this, Ocelot, when he's using his guns and stuff, is using Ocelot's personality. Liquid knows how to drive a Metal Gear, so you gotta switch to Liquid to drive a Metal Gear. Ocelot don't know how to drive a Metal Gear.
He trolls Snake. Snake, this is everything's going crazy at this point because the ship's been bombed. And then Snake, that's when he like reveals himself and like points the gun at Liquid.
Yeah.
And then Liquid says some stuff to Snake that's like, "You're drowning in time. Like the clock's ticking on you. Like
You basically implying that
Fox Die is still a
Fox Die
thing."
is slowly but surely killing Snake, which we kind of was told at the end of Metal Gear Solid that was a possibility, but it was one of those things that Snake kind of wrote off as like,
If it's my time,
if
it's
it's
my
my
time.
time, would do. He does the cool guy thing, was like, it's the justification every like wannabe tough guy makes when they smoke. They're like, "Yeah, man, you probably shouldn't smoke. It's bad for you." Oh, something's got to kill you anytime. It's that thing. It's Snake doing that.
Well, he does smoke.
Yeah, he smokes it. But if you got Fox
Lucky
Die, you
charm.
might as well smoke. I
Fox Die's gonna kill me.
I feel like Snake is like the one guy who that works. He's like, "Oh, Fox Die's gonna get me way before lung
You know, like
cancer."
he's like, "I'm immortal. I attached myself to an old man. I got all the time in the world."
Ocelot dies of old age, and Liquid's just in the tomb being like, "Fuck, take me off quick. Throw me on somebody else." This leads to the sinking of the boat between the bombs and activating a gigantic Metal Gear inside of a boat. Snake is clearly killed. Boys and girls, our hero, Solid Snake, dies
Never
at
to
the
be seen
very
again.
beginning of this game. Never will we see Solid Snake again.
all
Dead and buried.
all of the trailers for this game only showed the tanker sequence.
Really?
Nothing was revealed. The only thing that was revealed after the fact was something in this next hour, but they put Snake in it. It was like, "See, there's more of the game here. It's not just the boat. What are you talking about?"
I liked when I was reading through the instruction booklet for the PS2 copy. It straight up refers to Raiden and Snake as like side by side characters, like you would play in like Resident Evil 2. So like it kind of pitches it like, here we have to tell you the controls for Raiden because they're different, but he's just a side character. Like it really even keeps it kayfabe.
Don't worry
inside
about
of, Yeah, it keeps it kayfabe inside of the instruction booklet.
I'm
And
like,
it
"Oh,
focuses-
at some point, I'll have to play as this lady." Is what you see in the instruction book, because you just see the silhouettes and the awesome art by Yoji Shinkawa.
Oh, there's a T-shirt I found online a couple weeks ago that's all the just the faces of all the Metal Gear Codex art. So it's just like Marrow and on like a straight up black T-shirt, and I was like, "This is fucking cool."
I need that in my life.
Like it's just all the art and like the Codex art, and I was like, "This is damn cool." Like I know it's just like portraits of faces, but that guy can. I looked up a bunch of his art just because he's a fucking badass. But like his art is just beautiful. I love his art. I don't know what else he's done. I need to probably go see if he's done other stuff.
Well, Kojima Games, Death Stranding. He did for the I'm getting way off topic here, but for the Death Stranding single by Churches, he did artwork for the band for that single artwork. And I was
Really?
like, "This is cool. One of my favorite bands with one of my favorite Japanese artists, like fused together."
His art's beautiful. It's just it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I am very like it's such of a time. You can't get away with doing something like that now. Like, did you know that we were going to be playing as Raiden?
No.
Did
you know who like the name Raiden was and like the context of Metal Gear?
Nah.
So this is all like new to you.
Yeah.
So like the concept that this is not going to be Snake for this game is okay. I'm glad
He
because
sucks.
we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna get Raiden's getting his own section. Let's wrap this section up first. I love this opening sequence. I love this section. I love the tankle. I love the gameplay. It feels like classic Metal Gear. I went through this whole takeover sequence in one go. I had just a ball.
And then it's ripped away.
When it's ripped away from you and it cuts to, what, is it 7 years?
2 years later.
More, so 4 years total since Shadow Moses.
April 29th, 2009. And a particular day this is happening.
We are introduced to the concept of the Big Shell, which is pitched to the public as a cleanup facility for a massive oil spill for a tanker that went down in the harbor there. But in reality, we of course know is where Metal Gear was hijacked by Liquid/Ocelot. The president and several other VIP personnel was visiting.
They were doing a tour of like the queen,
the
to inspect the cleanup.
And a terrorist organization, very reminiscent of the Shadow Moses incident. Boy, this almost is like this entire sequence is a callback to Shadow Moses. Kidnaps and takes over the Big Shell. We are going in as a member of Foxhound. This guy that's being called Snake, but we can clearly tell because his voice is not nearly as cool as Snake. He's not Snake. Yeah, I'm like, that's the one thing where I was like, I get we're supposed to like completely feel like this is a callback to the beginning of Shadow Moses, but at the same time I was like, ain't nobody thought this was Snake. Like, Snake is a fucking cool dude just by hearing his voice. I want Snake to do my voicemail. I don't want Raiden to do my goddamn voicemail. But we're going in a underwater infiltration, same thing as Shadow Moses, while the Navy SEAL teams are going in via helicopter. It is a mission to try to rescue the president and take down these terrorists. It's straight up just a big, elaborate opening sequence as a reference to Metal Gear Solid. Like, to the elevator all the way down to, coming up through the water. We have the Colonel with us, same thing as we did in Metal Gear Solid, being our guy, your kind of commando. And then we're introduced into questionably the worst character I've encountered in Metal Gear Solid so far, Rose. Yes, Rose fucking sucks, man.
Rose is the worst.
She's alright.
No! Okay.
Raiden sucks worse than Rose.
That... oh, this is going to be fun.
You want to run that by me?
I'm just saying, Raiden sucks worse than Rose.
Do you know what day tomorrow is, Jack?
April 30th.
Went away that entire conversation.
Raiden sucks because, like, I don't like Raiden, but you're not almost, like, I feel like you're not supposed to. You're supposed to feel like, what the fuck? I thought I was going to be playing as, like, legendary hero Solid Snake.
From the VR missions.
From the VR missions. But instead I'm playing as this dork. There is something to be said about, like, pushing that vibe too far. I think I don't hate Raiden as much because the game recognizes Raiden sucks. Like, if the game was telling you over and over again that Raiden is a badass, and everybody who met Raiden, like this weird Plinskin guy?
Pliskin.
Pliskin?
Yeah,
Iroquois
Pliskin, Lieutenant Junior Grade.
Yeah, when he meets, the first thing he said to Raiden was like, hey man, this guy's a fucking cool dude. Like, he was putting him over constantly. Then I would be like, fuck you, Metal Gear. But everybody knows Raiden sucks. The Colonel's treating him like a dumbass. Pliskin's like, this fucker don't know anything.
It's great to see Campbell, like, in someone who he doesn't have a rapport with, to be like, right, get over here now. What are you doing?
Well, and also, like, he gave Snake a lot of leeway because he's worked with Snake. Snake and him are cool. Raiden, he's like, just go rescue the president. But what about this? None of your concern. Rescue the president. Like, he's
SEAL Team 10 is dead. What about the president? We sent you in for one thing, Raiden.
He's definitely a lot more like commanding officer with Raiden. With Snake, he gives Snake leeway. He ain't doing that with Raiden. Fuckle, shut up and go rescue the president. This whole sequence, like I said, is a big, elaborate opening. Similar to Metal Gear, even with the big elevator, waiting on the damn elevator. Getting on the elevator, he takes off the mask. I do like that if you go into first-person mode with the mask on, everything's in red. I think if you take damage, the mask takes damage.
You can see like
a crack in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just craftsmanship. You can't argue the craftsmanship in Metal Gear Solid. We climb out. We're revealed to be on the big shell facility, and this is when we get the big lowdown that hey, this is a multi-part facility. You know, A, B, C, D, E, F. We're going to be navigating this environment to rescue. Our main mission is to rescue the president. And everything else is secondary.
We get the lowdown. The terrorists are here, and they call themselves the Sons of Liberty, and the name of their leader is Solid Snake.
Yeah.
What?
And
bum,
like,
bum, bum.
my favorite thing is like, I think my note says, let me see here. Dead Cell has taken over the big shell. So Dead Cell's the name of our terrorist group. And they say Snake is the leader. He isn't, though, because he's Snake. Couple of things I want to talk about, too. One of my favorite things about the Metal Gear franchise is the villain group that we always encounter. You know, in Metal Gear Solid 3, they're, you know, the
Cobra
boss
unit.
and the Cobra unit. So, you know, you instantly get, like, the rundown of all of them, like the End and the Fury and the Pain. You know, Metal Gear Solid is guys like
Foxhound.
Yeah, it's Foxhound, but it's, you know, the Raven. It's you know, Sniper Wolf. There are these like super villain teams that you have to deal with. And Dead Cell, I'm like, boy, we got another one. I'm excited. And so far, what I can tell about Dead Cell, I'm pretty damn jazzed on all of them. They all have a cool gimmick. I like gimmicks, especially in a game like this. It's all
it's
about
like you
walking.
like pro wrestling or something.
Yeah, it's almost like pro wrestling.
I hope you like promos.
Oh, that's plenty of promos. Man, is that why I like this game?
Fat Man's promo is pretty good. We're not
good.
there yet, but we'll get there.
I like Fortune's promo so far. You know, she's up and coming. So lots of I did put a note here. Game acts like I wasn't just playing for 2 hours, because this is when it starts giving you all the tutorial stuff.
Every 5 feet, you get the codec call.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yep.
Which is something that if we were playing the first mission would be more tolerable, because it's like, okay, you know, do I need to be taught like how to climb down ladders? Probably not. But like the fact that I just played for 2 hours,
Yeah.
I don't need to be taught how to crawl under a fence. All right, like it's very. And then there's like these weird triggers, like when you gotta crawl under the fence, like you won't trigger that it'll tell you about the fence until you've already found it. Like I was running around looking for where I needed to go, because I was like, clearly I'm missing something. And like I see it, and I was like, oh, there's a hole in the fence. Cool, go in there. And as I crawl on my stomach to go through the hole, the colonel's like, you need to look for this hole in the fence over there, Ryan. And I was like, no shit, dummy, I'm halfway through the hole. Yeah, I get that it plays to like the gimmick, but I was kind of like, come on, man, I just did 2 hours. You know,
That was annoying.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Shaco. The SEALs are not the hero of this game. Boy, it would be a really lame game if Ryan like just dicked around for half an hour and then the SEALs evacuated the president, and then, you know, everyone was like, Ryan, get off the ship now. The SEAls took care of it.
Mission accomplished.
Idiot. SEALs go down hard. They go down hard. We go down into the B platform, and we walk around like acting like this is completely okay, that all these guys have just been ripped to shreds, and run into our first member of Dead Cell that we're going to kind of run into, Vamp.
Voiced by legendary voice actor Phil Lamar.
Pretty damn good voice acting. I like this intro. He's a vampire man.
I hate him.
You like Vamp?
I hate him.
Oh, why? Why do you hate Vamp?
I don't know. I just don't like him.
He's unsettling.
He's not cool.
You just seen Morbius,
He's
so maybe
like-
you can't shake him out of his mind.
Yeah.
As Jason Leto.
Jared Leto is a cooler vampire than this guy.
What?
Yeah. That's saying a lot.
I want you, Michael, to check the analytics and see if our listener count
Drop out, right?
128. Just bam.
This guy's weird. I don't like him.
He's supposed to be weird. He's off-settling. He's a dancing. I do like the fact that he dances, like he spins. This is when I knew that Raiden was going to be on my last nerve. constantly. I forgave the fact that he constantly feels like he knows shit because he played video games. Because he's constantly like, oh, don't worry, Colonel, I've completed 75 VR missions. And I'm like, you fucking dork. Like, I played Resident Evil 4. It doesn't mean I know how to fight villagers in Eastern Europe. But he just, like, is dumbfounded when he sees Vamp. Like, Vamp is obviously a vampire. He's eating a person when you come in. He turns around and Raiden just like goes like freeze and like just stares at him.
He does with every single person he meets. Points a gun at everybody.
And he's about to be killed by Vamp because he's just dumbfounded what to do. And we're rescued by Pliskin.
Yeah, slip of the tongue there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My autocorrect must have got me again. Because it says Snake here, but it's clearly Pliskin.
He has a nameplate. He has a nameplate and everything.
It's why would we...
It's bold of Kojima to cast the same voice actor in two different roles.
I'm concerned that it would confuse the audience.
Because, maybe a little bit, but also it's like, it shows the fact that like sometimes people sound different.
Yeah, but it would be like if we came on the show next week and I was like, "Hi everybody, I'm Nick, and with me is Eric," and then Nick's like, "Hey everybody." It would be this. I'm really confused why Kojima did it. It had to be a budget issue.
All right, are we dropping this bit now?
What bit?
Yeah, exactly. Just making sure we're on the same page.
Pliskin
Snake wears a headband.
Yeah, exactly. Pliskin's got a mullet.
He's got a mullet. He's wearing also one of those like the 1980s cool special forces headsets that we wear play video games now. He's wearing that. Pliskin saves us because he's not a dumbass. He realizes that a vampire coming towards you should probably get shot at.
He does get sucked on though.
Yeah, he does. He gets grabbed. And then Raiden grabs the M16 and like does the dumb shit again of just like freeze. We're way past freeze, brother. We're in shoot mode. And then when he does shoot, he don't hit shit. And I get the Vamp's like dancing around, but like it's an automatic weapon. You tell me he can't. He's emptying the mag. He's really emptying probably like 16 magazines worth. I do have a note here that just goes, "Guns don't run out of ammo in Metal Gear universe." Yeah, I'm like, Raiden sucks, man. And this is when he runs Vamp off because Vamp gets called away on other business. But this is when also we get like the Snake sits down and talks to Raiden. And he's like, "Hey kid, my name is Lieutenant Grade
Iroquois Pliskin, Lieutenant Junior Grade.
Lieutenant Junior Grade, which I'm not sure is a real rank, to be honest with you." I'm sorry, all this talk about Pliskin got me too excited. But he's kind of worn out because he got bit by Vamp. He's like, "Kid, I'm here to rescue the vice president too, so we're gonna work together." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. This Pliskin guy, for some reason, seems pretty cool. So I feel like this might save the game and not have to deal with Raiden that much." But he's like, "Okay, man, you go work on that. I'm going to go my own way and sit here and chill for a little bit because I got bit by a vampire, no thanks to you."
Lost some blood there.
Yeah, I lost some blood here.
They also talk about Raiden's background here.
Yes.
Which is extremely interesting, like how Raiden was in Force 21, which led to... this is where I realized, oh no, I have a majority of these cutscenes completely memorized. I can quote that entire Force 21 explanation cutscene.
This is also where my theory is why the game got delisted. We talked about that the game's been delisted because of rights to footage. Mm-hmm. And at first we were like, well, Metal Gear Solid 3, there was a ton of footage of like old Cold War bomb tests and stuff like that. And I was like, man, a lot of that stuff's got to be public domain. Here, there's a lot of footage of the early 90s, early 2000s, probably late 90s Future Soldier program, which is when they were going to turn all of the U.S. Army into like cyborg equipped, ready to go. Like it's where heads-up displays were being tested.
Is this in real life or is this a thing that...
The footage they shows is like Army testing footage of like these kind of programs.
And nanomachines?
Not nanomachine.
Okay.
No. It's
okay.
basically...
You said Future Soldier.
That was the name of the program.
Okay.
That was the name of the program.
You say Future Soldier, I think nanomachines.
No. Son, yeah. Listen, son. This is programs that like it's basically fancy heads-up displays that they were testing in the 90s, but they look like they have like a massive battery. It's completely unrealistic. Like in reality, how dumb would it be that you had to walk around with like half your vision covered up by a big what looked like a camera, like a Cameron, like a portable camera strapped to your left eye. Can't see anything.
Yeah, you could. You see the camera feed.
But no, it wasn't a camera. It was like a readout of information. It's
like Google
fascinating.
Glass.
It's like Google Glass.
People shunned it, and it's coming back.
Okay, Nick puts on his Google glasses.
That goes into like footage of the game, the spin-off game from the first Metal Gear Solid, which was Metal Gear Solid VR missions. And like his Snake's like, "Oh, you've done missions before. Tell me." And Ryan's like, "Sneaking mission 60, weapons 80." And he's like, "You did VR."
I do like the fact that Plitzkin constantly just goes like, fucking hell, they sent the VR kid.
So,
like it just instantly.
So if you played the VR game, that was the training Raiden did before going in. So I like that. Like you realize at this point that game is a like in universe. That's the training regimen they're using to create soldiers.
And you're just as qualified if you played it.
Yeah,
exactly.
You are just.
Well, you gotta get 100%. He was saying because he 100%ed that thing. He unlocked the Gray Fox missions and everything.
Oh man,
You got the achievements.
Raiden's pretty freaking. Hey guys, don't y'all think Raiden's pretty badass?
It's like
guys?
It's like the last Starfighter. If you do get VR missions, you get sent in to rescue the president.
Shit.
And your Xbox avatar gets a cool T-shirt.
I saved the.
Raiden bought all like the cosmetics. His guy is Optimus Prime.
I
Optimus Prime.
prevented nuclear war, and all I got was a stupid T-shirt.
Mountain Dew profile picture.
Baja Blast. It's gotta be the Baja Blast one. It can't be the regular one. The early Xbox 360 days were great.
Good times.
I do love that Plitzkin's just like, you fucking dork.
Ryan's such a dork.
So
I love that he's a dork, but he's a dork.
Yes. So we head off to go continue our attempt to rescue the president. And we come across our next member of Dead Cell, Fortune. She is really actually probably pretty cool. Like I really like her power set. The concept that she just like everything works out in her favor. Like you can't shoot her or anything because bullets just. She's like she has a force field of plot armor. She has plot armor as her power.
And she wants to die.
Yeah, she wants to die, but like can't die because bullets don't hit her.
Bummer.
I like Fortune. I think she's kind of cool. She got a big electric gun. Shoots an
That's
electric
cool.
gun at you.
That is cool.
Wipes out like a ton of Navy SEALs. Once again, Raiden does jack shit. Like here he is.
Is she Dead Cell? Yes, every time a member of Dead Cell appears.
If they're not a guy with a ski mask on, chances are, Raiden, they're Dead Cell. Let's just go ahead.
And even like during the boss fight coming up with Fat Man, he's like, as he's like scanning around, he goes, "Is he Dead Cell?" And you're like, "We know he's Dead Cell, Raiden, you idiot."
Like, yeah. This is where we also learned that Dead Cell is a team that was put into place to be like a training for the U.S. military for people like Raiden who never saw like actual training combat and stuff. Like they attack bases and stuff so those guys can learn how to defend against real world threats.
You know, like vampires.
Like vampires and ladies who have like real good luck. Is Fortune predates Domino? No, she does not. So the superhero Domino is before Fortune because it was like the early 90s because that was X-Force. So okay. She's basically Domino, isn't she?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. I just put that two and two together. This is where the game kind of gives us our first like real mission. It's when we learn that the entire facility is rigged with C4, and we have to work with our really cool pro bomb disposal guy, Peter, because somehow the Navy SEALs don't have their own bomb disposal unit, so they had to go get this guy
From
who's
New
like
York.
a New York cop who's like on a cane, and they're like, "Hey man, I know you're retired and shit, but you gotta come with us on this mission. Bring your cane, because we're storming an oil rig."
It's also like, hey, one of your students is involved in this too because he trained Fat Man all he knows.
Yeah, just like Michael wouldn't tell anybody that this guy's name is Fat Man. Instead, he kept calling them the Mad Bomb.
I wanted your reaction to be genuine when you heard the name Fat Man for the first time.
I don't think you got the response you thought you would get. 'Cause when he called him Fat Man, I was like, okay, cool. That's a Metal Gear thing. But like then what I really laughed about was I was like, why didn't Michael just call him Fat Man? He kept calling him the Mad Bomb.
I tried to protect this game a little too much, I understand.
No, but it made me laugh more that I was like, okay, when do we deal with the Mad Bomb? But Peter's going to help us and Plitzkin to disarm all these bombs.
By sitting in a pantry closet the entire time.
He can't move. Well, we found out later he can move.
So we'll go ahead and spoil the thing with him. He's a bomb disposal guy who blew a mission. Like, he failed to disarm a bomb. He fucked up. Got a bunch of people killed. And instead of, like, owning up to it 100%, he faked an injury.
Which absolves him of everything, apparently.
Yeah, I was a little confused by it because I was like, I guess he feels
Survivor's guilt.
I got hurt too, guys.
Yeah, I guess he was like, I know that I'm supposed to be the world's greatest bomb disposal guy, but the fact that I walk with a limp now, which I was like, how does a bomb going off in your face only cause you to walk with a limp? But I digress. Yeah, it was a little bit like, it felt weird for a character that I don't know is going to pop. Well, he doesn't pop up, but like he's gone. It felt a little weird to be like, let's really give him a very complicated backstory. But this triggers a mission where you're going to go around the different shells, platforms,
Struts.
and hunt down C4 locations using your radar equipment that you're given. And I want to use this to kind of tell into conversations about the different platforms. One of the big differences with Raiden compared to Snake, Raiden's radar does not work automatically on each platform. You have to find a computer terminal to turn it on.
A node, which leads to the fun joke. Did you say nerd? No, I said node.
Fuck you, and like, I like that Campbell responds like, "You fucking dork." It's like when someone thinks like fart jokes are really hilarious when they're like 35. Yeah, it's like that. Except for
yeah, those aren't funny.
Raiden sucks, and I still think Rose sucks more because she's just constantly being like, "Do you know what tomorrow is?" And the worst thing is Raiden's not even cool enough to be like, "Listen, woman, I don't know what tomorrow is. How about you fucking tell me?" And every time he does, she's like, "We'll find out tomorrow." Won't we?"
You changed, Jack.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, we kill a guy," and I'm like, she's like, "You changed, Jack," and I'm like, "He's an armed terrorist."
Whose idea was it to bring, like, hey, we're doing a very sensitive man. Let's bring this guy's girlfriend on over radio support. She'll keep him calm.
She's no more annoying to me than every other safe person that's been.
No, don't compare her to like Paramedic.
Paramedic's cool. She'll knock back a shot with you.
Paramedic wants to talk about movies. I'd rather talk to Paramedic about Godzilla.
So does Rose. She's gonna bring up Godzilla and King Kong.
Yeah, she does, because that was their date. They went and then they went to the Empire State. But then it's like at least Paramedic's like, "Hey man, you ever see Godzilla?" And Snake's like, "No, I haven't." "Oh, you should.
The movie for you.
It's a pretty good movie. It's about this giant lizard that attacks Tokyo." And she's just Kojima wanting to talk about movies. Rose is like, "We went to the Empire State Building and we argued all night."
Hang on, bringing a piano to play the piano track.
Yeah, and Raiden's like, "Yeah, we did, didn't we?" And she's like, "And you told me I was wrong and I said I was right." And Ryan's like, "Yeah, I guess we'll never know who was right." And I was like, "You could just go watch the movie again."
Yeah.
And then we watched that movie all night.
Yeah.
And, you just watched the same fucking movie 40 times in a row?
I don't think they watched the movie.
No, I think Ryan did. I can see. What I can tell is Ryan and Rose think Netflix and chill is just watch Netflix. Like, they have never had the fucking thing pop up. Like, "Are you still watching?" No, they're always watching the next movie. Fucking Rose and Ryan suck.
Jack and Rose. Did you get that reference?
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Are we going to fall on a door at one point? Oh, fucking hell, we are.
No,
Fuck
no.
you, Kojima.
Oh, is it Titanic?
Yeah, it's Titanic. It's a Titanic. Hey, Kojima wants you to know. And Plinskin is the name of the guy from Escape from New York.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. But we just want to make sure Kojima wants you to know he saw movies. And the thing is, though, he's not even referencing movies that like are really like obscure. He's referencing movies that a lot of people saw. Like Titanic was the biggest movie of all time. Like, yeah, Escape from New York's a pretty big movie.
Speaking of movies, I want to talk about like the shell here because the shell has a very much like lived in like space. It feels like this. Like we talked about how like Metal Gear Solid 1 was very much an inspiration from like 1980s action movies, like from like Escape from New York or like Die Hard, and Metal Gear Solid 3 was very much like 1960s action movies, like your James Bonds and your like spy thrillers. This feels like a very 1990s action movie, like compared like to The Rock or like Con Air, like the feel. Like I go back in my mind the scene of like where we pan up from the water and see the helicopters like fly under the shell, and then get the helicopter shot of like panning the entire facility.
The Rock is very like that's a very accurate statement. It feels like The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, yeah, it really does feel like The Rock. Man, imagine if we had a Metal Gear movie and Nicolas Cage played Raiden.
That'd be cool.
Nicolas Cage
That'd
riding.
be damn
That'd be
cool.
cool.
I want Nicolas Cage vamp.
No,
That's
oh yeah, damn.
That tracks.
There's got to be a mod somewhere where you can play as the game and Nicolas Cage is red. Oh, he would have a ball. He'd have a fucking ball.
5 today,
Damn.
or rather 6.
Ah, fucking. Let's get back
I'm
to
a vampire.
By the way, I don't know if you saw his Ask Me Anything on Reddit.
I
But
read
like,
some of the
he's my
comments.
favorite person who's ever done it. Most famous people feel like uncomfortable with the fact that this Ask Me Anything has people asking them anything. Like, it seemed like Nicolas Cage had a ball.
Or their obvious PR person.
Yeah,
like
it
just
was
making up references.
It's like Oscar Isaac like doing it for Dune, and it's like, "What's your favorite food?" Oh well, while I was on the set filming Dune, we ate a lot of it's everything ties back. No, this one he's like, we're talking about shit. You want to talk about shit? And apparently, like he did an interview. He was like, I had a ball. Yeah, it was the best interview I've done in 10 years. He's like, I loved it. National Treasure, get it? I'm like Kojima. I shove your references down your fucking throat.
I know writers who use subtext and are all cowards.
Fuck those cowards. It's cool sequence. The bomb placements are pretty unique. Like the one in the bathroom where you have to look at the mirror to find it. You had some different ones. You said they changed it for you on hard.
In hard mode, the bombs were in different locations than I've seen before. Like there was one in the packaging strut, right? There was one on one of the boxes. So there was the entire smoke trail was around the whole thing. I had to look for where it was like obviously like overlapping and moving.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Also, there's a lot more security cameras around, which is a problem because chaff grenades are in such a limited quantity. In Metal Gear Solid 1, they would hand those out like candy. Not in this game.
Well, also you could use the chaff grenades to get rid of the drones that are in between the facilities. So usually I want to save those because that's kind of one of my a bigger threat to me. But no, yeah, they don't hand them out nearly as much as in Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid, I had 10 of them like all the time. You don't have them here as much. I feel like the equipment's handed out a lot less than in Metal Gear Solid. You can gain access to like an assault rifle pretty quick in Metal Gear Solid. Anything else you want to talk about before we move on to the rest of the bomb stuff?
Yeah, Pliskin says, "Who dares wins," and Semper Fi, and does like some hand motions before he leaves to do his thing, and then Stillman's like, what?
Yeah, Stillman, when he does that, like, it dawned on me, I was like, wait a second, he's a Navy SEAL, why is Semper Fi? And, like, I like the game instantly calls him out, like, those aren't terms for the SEALs. I don't think that guy's a SEAL. And I like the fact that Snake is just winging it. He's like, right on, brother. Navy SEAL time,
Let's seal the deal.
Because I want to say, isn't Snake supposed to be, like, trained by, like, the Green Berets or something? Like, he's trained by, like, the
That's
Army.
Big Boss.
Is that Big Boss?
Big Boss was trained by the Green Berets.
Okay, so but like I do like the fact that Snake doesn't know these terms. He's picked them up over the years, but he doesn't really know who says what. So he's just kind of like, simplify, right on. You know, he just winging it. And I like the fact that dude's like straight up being like, what the fuck? That's not right. We learned that Fat Man is not as predictable as his mentor believes he is. Because at first, as we find the explosives, he's like, this doesn't sit right. Like, they're not in critical locations. This doesn't fit his MO. And then we realize that he's like got massive bombs planted at the bases of every single one of these facilities. And this is when we go after one, Snake goes after one, and he goes after one. And this is when we get the timer that triggers from the last C4 that we stop to us having to run back and get to the one that's actually at the very bottom of where we came into the facility at the get-go.
Yeah, so we have to go down into where we came from the water.
Yeah. Cool kind of concept that, like, the whole... And it does a good build of, like, hey, man, this isn't... Like, he's constantly like, this doesn't make sense. Like, you wouldn't put a bomb on a jet.
Or my favorite was when you talked to Pliskin, he was like, yeah, I found one on a guard's back. was one that he said
it's
to
like,
me.
and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. Also, I want to know how that jet landed on a helicopter pad. That's not how planes work.
The driver was the pilot was enhanced with nanomachines.
So,
Or maybe the plane was.
the nanomachine liquids attached himself to the plane.
Oh no!
Instead of like the joy shift,
It's his hand.
It's just his hand. The liquid going like this.
Or
like
what if it's his foot? He just had different body parts in different places
Oh,
to
that's
control.
great.
He's like the hive mind of liquid snakes just all around,
It's
right
like
on his body.
Like one point you have to, you know, how, like in Metal Gear, you have to fight the helicopter. You're gonna have to fight like a whole bunch of planes. There's just different parts of liquid attached to all the
You
planes.
hear, brother!
But coming from like 10 planes. This is where our buddy, our bomb disposal guy, meets his end. Fat Man gets the better of him. Boom, there he goes. As we are traveling back up to continue the mission to stop Fat Man, who's our main threat now because he's trying to blow the whole damn place up. Even against Dead Cell. Dead Cell doesn't even want him to blow the whole place up. But he's gone rogue.
He's a rogue agent.
He just wants to get his name in the papers now. We run into Fortune in a boss fight back at the elevator. It's one of those, it's just wait for the elevator again, but it's one of those survive boss fights, you know, just kind of hide, dodge all attacks. And at this point, Raiden decides all of a sudden he knows how to use a gun because Vamp shows up. Raiden's like, oh, wait, you point this at the guys and you pull the trigger. Oh, yeah. And he shoots and hits Vamp right in the forehead. Fortune's like, oh, no, why can't I die? But you get to die. That sucks. I want to die.
Ryan keeps the gun on them and kind of like tiptoes out of there, about in the elevator, just like, I'm just not going to
My
deal
favorite
with
thing
this.
is also before this, he saw like an entire Navy SEAL platoon shoot at this woman and nothing happened. And his solution when he sees her is to shoot at her.
He even yells, now! When he goes out, like, this
Fucking so lame. I'm sorry. I'm hoping there's a redemption coming for him because he's right now he is fucking lame. He's not as bad as Rose, but he's pretty bad. So we just ride the elevator back up, leave Fortune there, and then Vamp's just like, I've died once already. Don't worry about it. I'm okay. It's just kind of it's very melodramatic. Like they didn't even like cut away and not let us see what happened. They just like, oh, I'm okay. Don't you worry about it. Took me a second there. Let me get this hole in my head right now. It'll go away. So we now get called and learn that there's another bomb that we have to go stop, which triggers another timer, which triggers us to have to run all the way to the helipad, which triggers us to fight our second boss of the game, Fat Man. One thing I also forgot to talk about is Olga is here.
Yes, Olga's
we
on
run
the base.
back into Olga. She's on the base working with the Russian team guys because they've hired this Russian army units as mercenaries. So, like, the same group of guys who attacked the tanker 2 years ago are now here probably under Olga as mercenaries. So, Olga's tied back into all of this, as we probably would have guessed.
She reports there is a cyborg ninja sighting. She saw a dude in a costume. You also get a call from someone calling themselves Deep Throat, and then they do the reference of, instead of saying, just like the Watergate scandal, he says, like from Shadow Moses? And he goes, Mr. X then.
I just like also that Raiden is such a Snake fanboy. That like Snake, like he's like from deep like from the Watergate scandal. Like that's a real thing that happened. Like Raiden's like, oh, you mean like Shadow Moses? This is great. I wanted to have my own Deep Throat conversation. What's going on, Deep Throat? And the guy's like, oh fuck, this guy's a fan.
And Campbell's like, it's not the same guy. Don't get excited. It's not the same guy.
Campbell's like, that guy's dead, all right? We know who that guy is. He's dead. It does. You do what? Yeah, is he dead? Because we saw Cyborg Ninja running around, throwing it out there, boys and girls. I forgot about that, but back to the Fat Man.
She also Matrix flips off the side of the railing and disappears.
Oh, of course she does. Because doesn't Raiden like come around like freeze and then she jumps off the railing.
And then she like lowers it and goes, "Did I say you could move?" It's like,
fucking dork. You know what?
He's such a dork.
I'm gonna say this: Otacon in Metal Gear Solid 2 seems cooler than Raiden. Also, Otacon's here because there's a reference to the fact that there was another guy brought in with the seals, and it does like a fuzzy photo, and it clearly is Otacon because he's wearing a lab coat and like glasses.
It zooms in on his glasses, and like the glasses do the anime thing of like shining in the light so you can't see the eyes.
It's like, of course, it's fucking Otacon. We're not dumb. Boys,
Let's get ask, is he okay? Did he get it okay? Okay.
Also doing this bomb thing, Pliskin shuts off his radio, and they're like, Pliskin, shut off his radio. I'm like, yeah, Pliskin's like, fuck this guy, I'm so sick and tired of listening to this kid.
And then, like, he's like, I just what if I need to talk to Pliskin or something? And Carl says, he's not a factor in the simulation. Leave him out of this. Don't.
I also like the fact that there's multiple times, like, he's like, are you here to rescue the president too? He's like, yeah. He's like, are you worried about the chemicals in the water getting out into the water? He's like, what are you talking about?
First I've heard of it.
First I've heard of it. He's like, what, you briefed? He's like, yeah, sure. And there's a lot of references to that where Pliskin is told things and just straight up is like, what are you talking about? And which leads to my jump into theory moment. Snake, Raiden's being forward with like all sorts of bullshit. They're just lying to Raiden left and right because he's a dumbass who believes everything, can't put two and two together. And so like Raiden's like running around being like, they're going to set off the chemicals in the water. It's going to be terrible. And Snake's like, yeah, I mean Pliskin. Pliskin's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is dumb. Yeah, I tell you, man, that Kojima shouldn't use the same voice actor. It's very confusing. But yeah, I that's my theory. Raiden's being full of bullshit. Campbell's probably not even there. Rose is probably like the secret mastermind behind all this, knowing all damn luck.
You'll find out tomorrow.
You'll find out in 2 weeks.
Well,
or actually,
in the game, it's the next day.
Yeah, true.
April 30th?
Fucking asshole. So the Fat Man fight. Fat Man is in a bomb disposer suit, drinking wine with a straw, riding roller skates.
Not just a straw, a bendy straw. Pretty great.
Fat Man is classic Metal Gear Solid boss. He's just a mad guy who wants to blow up the world and be the greatest bomber in history. This boss fight is fine. Like, it's okay boss fight. You stop explosives, you shoot him, and then you shoot him in the head because he's wearing a bulletproof, suit. It's ridiculous because he's a man on roller skates.
We have to emphasize the roller skates here.
My favorite part is that when he triggers his dead man switch, like the last bomb, like you're like, oh crap, what's the bomb? What am I do? And you just pick his body up and move it because he's just laying on top of it.
This boss fight was a lot tighter for me. Like the countdowns I had were like 10 seconds. Where is it? For the the bomb stuff on when he's just dropping him during the boss fight. So this was a much more intense fight than it usually was for me, and this was a very down to the wire. Like I would always defuse him with 1 second left.
He does put them in some weird spots. Like there's a couple of times where I think I died once because the bombs went off because I couldn't find which angle on the box it was on. Yeah. But he does very little damage with his weapons, and if he hits you, he does very little damage. His problem if he hits you, like when he skates by, is more that it's going to stop you from getting to the bombs than it is to kill you. Yeah. And they give you so much pistol ammo, you don't have to be really precise with your shots. You can just kind of dump the mag, and it'll knock him down, and then walk up and shoot him in the head. I thought it was a fine boss fight. Any special things? Not really. Michael?
I like it.
I think it was a fine boss fight. And that is where we end. Now, we do get a Kodak call.
Yeah.
Plitskin's back. Tells us, like, hey, good job, kid, taking down that fat man. Well, yeah, we got it. Don't worry about it. Try to act fucking cool. Plitskin knows you're a lame-ass motherfucker.
And as when he's talking to the colonel, he says, "Hey, do you want to talk to Pliskin?" And the colonel says, "No." Hey, I met this guy. Is he pretty cool? I don't care.
Pliskin's just like, don't hang out with that guy. Like, we don't even know who this guy is. Do you just trust every man with a mullet who comes around, you dumbass? And that's where we stop.
Laugh and grow fat.
Yeah. I have really enjoyed this so far. Nick, what's your thoughts? I know we did the rundown. I was talking a lot. So, like, what's your thoughts on this so far?
I mean, I like it. I liked Solid, the first one, better. Because I feel like this controls more like 3. And that's what I hate about 3. But it's cool. I'm not sold on the Rogues Gallery yet. Like, there needs to be somebody cooler than freaking Vampire Boy.
It's a smaller Rogues Gallery than we had in 3. So far, my favorite Rogues Gallery is probably 3. Because...
That's interesting. I always go back to Foxhound. They're like my favorite unit, boss unit in any game.
Vulcan Raven is cool because you fight him in the tank, and then you fight him in the gun when he's carrying around the minigun. Sniper Wolf is... I had a lot of frustration with Sniper Wolf, but I like her as a concept more than I liked her as execution. Ocelot was cool because he's Ocelot. And then Liquid's pretty cool. I will say though, 3's got a pretty good Rogues Gallery with the pain, the end, the sorrow, the fury, the fear. It's a bigger Rogues Gallery, so I think that gives it a little bit of an advantage because they can do more with it.
There's a smaller Rogues Gallery here.
Yeah, I mean, right now, as far as we know, it's Fat Man, Fortune, and Vamp, and whoever this snake imposter is. Psst. I think it's Liquid. I don't know if my microphone is picking up me whispering, but I think it's Liquid. I really enjoy that. I can't wait to play more.
It's a game that leaves you. It has you on. At least at this point for me, when I was playing this the first time, this was what got me on the hook of being like, I have to see where this goes next. It's a very dynamic story with a lot of like twists and turns, and I am always on board for that.
I feel like, Nick, maybe you can kind of see if you feel similar. I feel like I'm running off a lot of faith that this is going to lead to some cool shit. Because right now it's a lot of riding just being a dork and not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's alluding to so much other stuff happening. I feel like the payoff is coming, and I'm trusting that the payoff is going to be good.
Yeah.
Because... especially, and one of the things that kind of sold me is when I'm starting to pick up on the fact that Raiden doesn't, like, the information Raiden's been given and the information everyone else is talking about is two different things. Like, Snake is not, and Snake even, like, says, like, he's like, are you here to rescue the president? And he's like, yeah, but I've got my own objectives, too. Like, there is a bigger thing happening here than fucking what Raiden thinks is happening.
There's multiple levels of things going on at the same time.
And Ryan's very much like a tool here. He's the kid playing in the game he doesn't quite understand. Like, he doesn't really understand what's happening here. He thinks he does, but he really don't, you know? So I like that, but I do kind of, it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
In that.
And speaking of where it goes, should I drop the stopping point?
Yes, what's your next stopping point? What's our next? Because this is 3-parter, so we're not finishing the game next time. Going to the next stopping point.
I'm not going to bury the lead here. We're going to fight Vamp.
I mean, that's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, at this point.
We've played 2 of these games so far. They always introduce the Rogues Gallery, and then we fight them one-on-one.
This is going to be the shortest playthrough section, maybe 2.5 to 3 hours before we get to the beefy chunk at the end of this game.
We wanted to make sure we had plenty of time to talk about things because obviously at the end we're going to be setting up our jump into 4, which would be
not immediately after.
No. We will not be playing 4 next. We will be playing other games, but as we continue through this franchise, we're going to talk about where we think things are going. I feel like Metal Gear is better the farther you get into the game to talk about. Because like in Metal Gear Solid, when Snake shows up at Shadow Moses, he doesn't know what's going on. Like in Metal Gear Solid 3, we don't really know what's going on. We have a basic mission, but that's it. And as things get revealed, it's more fun to talk about because it gets more into the insanity. This is kind of like the grunt walk to get us to the insanity. So we're going to end after we beat or you fight Bam.
Yeah, gonna fight that vampire man.
Gonna fight that vampire man. I really, really hope that Plinskin makes it out of this. I would love to see Plinskin in the later series. I would think, I've seen that Snake is on the cover of Metal Gear Solid 4, and it would be really weird to have two guys in the same game with the same voice.
Maybe Pliskin just dons the headband. I don't know.
Because Snake is dead and buried.
Yeah, Snake's fucking dead.
Dead and buried. They make several allusions to it, and even Rose pops up and says, "Oh yeah, I verified that man's buried."
I mean, Rose hasn't lied to us.
Yeah, Rose hasn't.
That's why she doesn't want to tell us about tomorrow, because she's afraid of lying. She doesn't want to lie and tell him what's happening. So, okay. I hope Pliskin makes it out. That's my big hope. stateofthesave@gmail.com. Stay the save on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. TikTok being the big one. Push to TikTok. Everybody loves TikTok, right? We love TikTok here at Stay the Safe. Never had I sound like an old man more than to be like, we love that TikTok. Reviews on your favorite podcast app. All the reviews we have gotten recently have been very, 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 very helpful. Spotify has the ability to review now. So we view us high on Spotify. That helps a lot. Helps with the analytics. Gets us pushed out in front of more people. More people we get to have, the more cool shit we get to do. Hopefully we'll have some Foul Corrupteds coming now that I've got my housing thing done, and we can get back into doing cool shit there too. As always, stay safe out there.